listening to the Blue Crystal, broadcasting live from Gaelic Gar in the heart of Lodesai. I'm Dander Alexander with the news. Blackpool's new ruler is threatening to destroy the people's kingdom of good Queen Farin with powerful new weapons. That story up next. Meanwhile, is favored courtier Corso drinking the exchequer dry? And tragedy from the red coast north of Blackpool, where vast tracts of wilderness are simply disappearing. Experts say... Well, what's that? Excuse me? Oh, I see. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our broadcast with the Goonies World 100th Episode Special.
Welcome to the 100th episode of Goonies World. My name is Goonie, also known as Colin, and I am joined, as always, by Johnny Farrow, also known as Sean.
Hello there.
And Meanie, also known as Ryan.
Greetings.
And our very special guest, Wimp, also known as Jason.
Hey, everybody.
Yes, we're very happy to have Jason. We've been gaming with Jason for like 20 years or more. I think it's a little more. And so the first time he's ever been on the podcast. And
I've been trying to get him for ages.
We've been wanting him, and because he is one of the OGs of our group. And
that's right.
I like to pretend that stands for original gamer. Original
That's
gamers.
right. Founding members.
Well, I got a microphone now, so you might have to put up with me for a while.
Yes. And we'll probably have a slightly longer than normal episode tonight because, after all, it's our 100th episode. And for that, we're going to play in our long-running campaign setting, Gonen's World. And when we started playing together 20 years ago, we created this setting together and with a lot of other people. And we've been adding to it ever since. We play other campaigns, but we always come back to Gonen's World eventually. I think it's safe to say it has a special place in our hearts, and it's cool to share it with you on this special occasion. We have used lots of systems in the past to play Gonen's World. We've used first edition D&D to Savage Worlds to Warhammer and systems we made up ourselves. But tonight, we're going to use the Black Hack, mostly because it's pretty quick and easy. And if you're familiar with the Black Hack, we're even going to be hacking the hack. You should know that because these characters were essentially multi-classed in other games, we've given the Thief and the Wizard the same melee capabilities as a fighter, but with slightly lower damage. We bumped up the fighter's damage and then scaled the others down by class to compensate for that. And when we're attacking multiple targets, instead of rolling once to hit each target separately, we're just going to roll once with a penalty equal to the number of targets, just to save time. So you don't have to listen to us doing a bunch of math constantly. So, just a little bit about the setting. Gonen's World is named for Gonen, its first colonizer, who is now worshipped as a god by his remote descendants. It's a pretty traditional fantasy world with monsters and magic, but it has some steampunk elements such as airships and clockwork golems and vibrating crystal radios and other anachronistic technology that's powered by Gaxium, a mysterious superfuel. We can't really give you 20 years of background about Gonen's World in a nutshell, so bits of it will just have to creep out as we play. You definitely don't need to know the intricate campaign history to enjoy this episode. So for this adventure, we've summoned back to life some of our favorite characters from Gonen's World history, and we brought them together for an important mission because a threat has arisen that could destroy everything that we've created for the last 20 years. Dark power from another world that will erase Gonen's World forever, unless our heroes can stop it. But I think we're going to start right in the middle of action with Jason's character, Marm Goodwill. He's a wee Moldai. That's basically like a halfling. And Marm, you were running over the rooftops of Gaelic Car. It's midday, but the sky is dark with blue gaxium smoke from the towering smokestacks of this industrial city in the heartland of Lodesai. And you've just stolen a prototype of a new invention from Industrial Algebra, a company that makes strange things. It's a thick black metal ring about the size of a hula hoop, and you have no idea what it is, but you do know it's valuable. However, on the way out of Industrial Algebra, you accidentally set off a magical alarm, and now the blue guards are chasing you down across the rooftops. So could you briefly describe Marm for us so we can all get a mental image of him?
Yeah, so Marm is about 3.5 feet tall, and right now he's dressed in all black leather with some soft leather boots and a braid of hair coming off the top of his head, bouncing and jouncing.
Well, you are at the top of a peaked roof right this second, and you have to slide down it and leap onto the next building, which is a bakery, by the way. And go ahead and make a wisdom roll to judge the distance correctly so you can make a good jump there and get a good start. And you want to roll less than your wisdom.
I did not roll less than my wisdom.
You take the slide down that big roof and you hit the edge, but you hit it a little too hard, and instead of getting a good solid foundation to jump from, you just kind of tumble off the roof and fall down into the alley right into a big rubbish bin. And you can bounce right up because, luckily there's a lot of trash down there. Of course, you're covered in trash now, and there's like rotten eggs and bits of eggshell and scraps of paper and dough from the bakery sort of covering you. But you can pop right out with no problem. However, looking to your left, you can see Duke Ludovenko Memorial Boulevard and plenty of traffic out there. And looking to the right, it's further down the alley, and there are actually 2 auto constables, Paco-class clockwork golems, coming down the alley with quad guns pointed at you. Stop thief, they say. Stop thief. Stop thief. Stop thief. So what do you want to do?
Well, despite it not being a good idea, Marm relishes in the trash a little bit because it reminds him of home, and at the last minute hops out and tries to run underneath the auto guards' guns and escape behind them.
You're right. There's a terrible idea. So when you pop up and charge towards them, weaving and dodging, you can hear the quad guns rip. Boom, 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 boom. And the glass bullets are shattering all around you. And, go ahead and make a dexterity roll to not get hit.
Is this going to be with advantage?
Yeah.
Nimble expertise?
Well, you know what? We'll go for it. We'll go ahead and call this nimble expertise. It's a stretch, but Marm's always been slippery.
All right. Well, my second die will succeed.
Okay. Well, you skitter right around as those bullets fly around you, and you go right under their legs. You're a little guy after all, and it's going to take them a second to get all turned around. They're not really highly intelligent anyway. Their brains are made of punched cards that are in their chests, and they've got to flip a new one into the slot and figure out what to do. Meanwhile, you go tearing down the alley, and you're out onto Grand Street at this point, and you're looking both ways. You can see there's traffic going by. The Blue Guard, of course, was on the roof above you, and they can easily see where you've gone, and you can hear them running along the roof above you. Stop, you little bastard! You're not going to get away with this! You can hear them hollering. Do you want to dash across the street through the traffic, or do you want to stay here and deal with them, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, before Marm tries to lose himself in the flow of traffic, he'll say, "Yeah, but if I stop, you'll catch me. I gotta go. I can't stop." And then run off.
All right. Well, you dodge right out into traffic. Right in the path of a cyclist on an auto bike. Do you go forward or back? Quick, what do you do? Forward or back? You
forward.
Back up or go? Forward. You charge forward and crash right into the window of an artificial limb factory. And all these arms fall on you. You're riding in this big pile of arms, and you can hear some footsteps outside. And, of course, there's people behind you in the shop, shocked, looking over as, right in the middle of trying on an artificial leg. One guy falls over, and the footsteps from outside, the Blue Guard rushes up, a whole platoon of them, and they're raising their weapons at you. Meanwhile, this hoop that you're holding, this metal hoop, it just starts to tremble and vibrate in your hand, this humming. What do you do with it?
Well, I'm going to try to hide underneath it.
Well, you pull it up and pull it over your head as if to hide in it.
Hula hoop.
Like sort of a hula hoop, exactly. And I don't know how you can hide beneath it, but you pull it over your head. And when you do, suddenly you are high up in the air without the hoop, without the ring, falling. And you see the triple towers of Highseat in the distance. You've been teleported like 100 leagues away from Gaelic Car. There's this big explosion up above you as if you fell out of it. And you're going to land in this lake below you. And you can see a squadron of soldiers running out of a fortress by the lake to intercept you. And you can see the water looming up at you. You can make a dexterity roll to try to do a nice dive and land gracefully and perhaps not take damage.
Oh, yeah. Marm would love to do a perfect swan dive into the lake there. With the sticks, we'll succeed.
And you do, but you certainly go in gracefully. But hitting the water, you go unconscious. Now you wake up later. You must have been asleep for a while because your clothes are dry. And you're in a jail cell. And you can see there's nothing in here but a cot and a toilet. And there's a huge, hairy flind in overalls sitting in here with you.
Except for the flying, this kind of reminds me of my second home.
Well, like your second home, by the toilet is actually not actual toilet tissue, but old newspaper. And you can see a copy of the Highseat Observer, and you see the year is 1680. It's 200 years ago. Not only have you been transported in distance by the hoop, you've been transported 200 years in the past during the reign of Queen Farin. And the Flind looks at you and licks his lips. And that's where we'll go ahead and leave Marm for now. And we'll move on to... in fact, if you could picture the camera leaving the jail cell and going down the hallway and out and through this big palace all the way up to the very top, 800 feet above the level of the city of Highseat. Atop the great pillars, we're in the throne room of the royal palace in Highseat. And it's night. And the moon's shine in through these huge windows that overlook South Highseat, 800 feet below. And there's a party going on because it is Queen Farin's birthday. She's 37 today. And the whole city is celebrating. And festive music's playing. Farin is there, and her favorite courtier, Corso. And Ryan, Farin is your character. Can you describe Farin for us physically?
Yeah. So Farin is, a reasonably attractive, approximately at this point in time, middle-aged-ish woman with long dark hair and a brutal-looking scar, like right across her entire face. Although somehow, rather than being a flaw, it just kind of makes her more attractive.
Yeah.
And high cheekbones, and she's dressed. I mean, it's a birthday party. She's dressed to the nines with a nice black dress. I'm imagining with like a kind of a high collar.
Right. Totally, I can picture it. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're trying to enjoy the party, but actually, and you can see Corso in the distance. You always have to keep an eye on him because you never know what he'll get up to. He might embarrass you, but. Lord Unctious, he's the Chancellor. He's the guy who does most of the day-to-day, operations. He's an administrator. He keeps bugging you with government questions. He's been doing it all night. He's tall and skinny. He kind of looks like a bird. And finally, he said, listen, Your Highness, I realize your background as an adventurer before you captured the throne of Highseat has not really prepared you for legislative or kitchen affairs, but the commons are running out of cake. And they're getting belligerent. So how shall the constabulary handle it? Shall we have the kitchen make more cake, or shall we disperse the crowds with our riot squads?
Well, Of course, you should make some cake. We must feed the people.
Well, we will let them eat cake then, but there's one problem. The exchequer, cake will be a great expense, and this is potentially awkward, my lady, but your favored guest, Corso, has consumed 6 gallons of salt-washed gold and 4 pounds of blue caviar during the last fortnight, and from what I understand, he has consumed General Krieg's daughter as well, and the exchequer wonders if some restraint on his behavior and spending might be in order. Now, Corso, your ears are burning from across the room. And you look over to where Lord Unctious is talking to Farin, and you can see he's looking at you. Do you want to go over there and inject yourself in the conversation, Corso?
Yeah, I will go over there and say, I'm just getting started.
Well, now that's a great as an opening as any. Can you describe Corso for us, Colin?
So, before I do that, I do need to say that Corso was my very first character I ever played in any RPG.
That's right.
So he has a pretty normal name, Nicholas Corso, but people do just call him Corso. And in his younger days, he was much thinner and fitter than he is now. He's pretty chubby. And unhealthy now.
I believe at one point, an errant cannon blast turned him into just a torso.
Yes. He was Corso. He was Corso the torso briefly, but since then he's got a new cock and body.
What happened was, I believe that was all that was all just something that actually didn't happen because of a wish we made. Returned everything back to normal before that terrible accident happened.
That's right. Wishes have played a huge part in the history of Gonen's world. But
so he is we've described him kind of like Fat Elvis, in his later years. But before that, he was kind of very, very vaguely resembled Steven Seagal.
So now he probably resembles what Steven Seagal looks like now. Because Steven Seagal is now in his Fat Elvis period as well.
Fat Steven Seagal now.
Right. But he can still pack a punch.
Yeah, he's got this slick-backed black hair, no ponytail. And I would say he's pretty handsome, but, he does have the chubby cheeks right now. But right now, I would say he's wearing, or what he normally wears is probably just like loose robes.
Like the dude kind of or something.
Yeah, just kind of moping around, eating stuff and drinking and fancy robes.
Well, if you're just getting started, Lord Unctious says, then you may wish to make some contributions, financial. Queen Farin, shall we go ahead and continue to let your friend here milk the state dry? Or what can be done here? Your guidance is needed, Your Highness.
Well, Corso, I do think it would be most prudent if you could maybe scale back the salt-wash gold consumption just a bit, you see. It's awfully expensive.
All right, I guess. I don't know. I'll try. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah. He said he'd tried. Is this sufficient for you?
Yes, I will I shall write that down, and I will bring that back to the council. He'll try. That's what Her Highness
No
said.
promises.
That's what I'll tell them. Very well. I'll add that as an addendum. Now, I have one final bit of business before I can let you enjoy your birthday. General Krieg has captured an otherworldly wee Moldai who fell from the sky, he says, and apparently he's some sort of lunatic who claims to be from the future. One of the guards quit tonight, also, incidentally. He said he just couldn't take it anymore, and he walked out with his hands over his ears. I'm not sure what that was about, but shall we have this wee Moldai thrown into the asylum, or would you like to question him? I know of your interest in otherworldly matters.
Queen, I would like to suggest we pull out the cannons and for the festivities, and we do some wee Moldai cannon shooting. That's my suggestion.
So your proposal is to fire this lunatic
back where he came from,
out of a cannon. Well, I do think that would be entertaining, but he might have... Well, certainly stranger things have happened than people traveling through time in this world of ours, so it may perhaps, before we fire him out of the cannon, serve our interests to ask him a few questions.
Very well. I've anticipated that answer, and we have him right outside. Get out here, you! And some soldiers come in. You know how they do that, unnecessarily pushing. He's walking anyway, but they're pushing him, and he stumbles in. He's got his handcuffs. They've got all his stuff in a bag. Of course, the hoop that transported you here is missing. It's probably laying in the pile of arms, 200 years from now in Gaelic Car. But they push you forward, Marm, and of course he's handcuffed. And you look up and you see Farin and Corso before you. And I will let you three get acquainted as the party goes on around you. Go ahead and make more cake, Unctious says as he walks off.
Hey, this is pretty nice. Thanks for inviting me to the party. I heard it was somebody's birthday. Is it your birthday, or it was like somebody else's birthday? It was not my birthday. I guess it could be my birthday, but I don't think I've been born yet, because I'm like 200 years in the past, and that's pretty far in the past.
Yes, that's true. And it is, in fact, my birthday. You say you're from the future, wee one.
Well, you said I'm from the future with your paper that you left in there. Unless you got 200-year-old paper in the bathroom to like wipe my butt with, which I didn't actually wipe my butt with any of it because I just kind of read it instead, and I didn't want to use it for that after I'd read it because I thought somebody else might want to read it, so I just kind of left it there and didn't wipe. But that was like 200-year-old paper. So
sorry, are you saying that you didn't wipe?
Well, I mean, I kind of used my hand a little bit, so that's why it's a little dirty. Do you have some water I could wash it off with?
Oh, please, get this wee one some water.
The servants rush up with a little bowl and napkin and begin cleaning. Shall we uncuff him to clean his hands, Your Highness?
Yes, please.
Oh, very well.
I must avert my eyes.
I like this guy.
Use the paper next time, says the servant. And
so, what year was it where you came from, and how did you get here?
And Marm, you've heard the year, but it's like 1880 something at Gonen's World Years. Where you come from?
Yeah, so it was like almost a 1900 something, 1800 something, and like I got here, but I gotta tell you, I really had a hand in getting here because there was an arm shop, you see, and I fell through the window of an arm shop after I got hit by a bicycle because I was running away from the roof of the industrial algebra because I had this really cool hoop thing, and then I like hid under the hoop, and then I was up in the sky, and then I like fell in the water and woke up and came in here.
You had a hoop?
Yeah, it was like a black hoop. It like vibrated and stuff. It was like, I don't know, it was really cool. I'd never seen one before, so I thought I'd take it with me because nobody was using it at the time. It was just sitting there on the shelf, and I figured if it was just sitting there, then somebody else could use it when they weren't using it. And so I don't think they liked it though, because they kind of chased me and got mad and kept telling me to bring it back, but I didn't bring it back. I just went to ran away with it.
I think you found my cock ring.
Oh, Corso.
There was a big explosion.
You had a vibrating hoop, a vibrating teleporting hoop.
Yeah, I guess it teleported me.
Teleported me.
But if I went back in time, then maybe I can go save myself.
Save yourself from what exactly?
Jumping in the hoop or hiding under the hoop and go somewhere else. Maybe I could hide under the arms, or I don't know if there were some legs. I could maybe hide inside a regular person's leg if I like really made myself kind of skinny and fit in there. Because it was like artificial legs and arms and stuff, and they were hollow. Some of them were hollow, I guess. Some of them actually had bones in them, maybe, but I don't know.
You are rescued from this Wee Moldai's monologue by General Krieg, who comes storming into the place. This is the same General Krieg who, collected Marm from the water, but is also the one whose daughter Corso deflowered about a week and a half ago. And you can tell that he's well aware of it, Corso, by the glowering look he gives you. Nevertheless, Krieg is a professional. He seems to be here on professional business. Behind him, Farin, you know it's serious, because behind him is slinking Gilles Saint-Pitié. He is a Star Chamber agent who has been around long before you ever got here. And he's walking behind him with his all-knowing grin at the same time. General Krieg comes in. Your Highness, Corso.
What is it, General?
Our agents in Col Sador report that a newcomer called Lord Bane has staged a coup in Blackpool. I say, we bomb them! Now, Gilles Saint-Pitié comes up. It is true. This Lord Bane is ruthless and charismatic. He's a genius. He's not anywhere in our calculations. He's promised these very powerful new weapons, and reports are trickling in of some kind of terrible new machine in the Red Coast. He's cornering up the market on Gaxium. He's buying up vast reserves. It warrants investigation. No, it warrants bombing them. Good Queen Farin, I suggest sending Squadron D to infiltrate Col Sador and eliminate or capture Lord Bane, and let the chips fall where they may, unless this is one of these things you'd rather handle yourself.
Pardon me, by Squadron D, do you mean Corso or the actual Squadron D?
Yeah, I got your Squadron D right here.
No, I mean the actual Squadron D that has performed so many commando raids and missions for us during our long Cold War with the Republic of Blackpool.
Yes, but of course Corso has also performed many commando raids for us.
True.
I'm not going to sit here and listen to this any longer. If you're not going to bomb them, I will take my leave, Your Majesty. And he smartly bows and spins on his heels and stalks off across the chamber.
That guy doesn't get me, man.
Yes, I'm afraid Krieg has not much of a sense of humor. Well, Gilson, I do think perhaps I should go down to Col Sador myself. Corso, would you be willing to come along?
You know, it's getting close to dinner time. So no, I'm just gonna eat, I think. I mean, I'm pretty hungry, so I'm surprised you're gonna go yourself. I mean, you don't normally
It's been
do that
so
kind of
terribly
stuff.
long since we've had an old adventure together.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
I'm sure Lord Unctious and the Council can keep Highseat running in your absence, milady, says Gilles Saint-Pitié.
Well, perhaps we should have some dinner and go in the morning.
Very well. Shall I have this prisoner returned to his cell, or will you take him with you?
What little guy, what's your name?
Hey, I'm Marm, and I'd really like to go to Col Sador instead of staying here with that guy, because he's about as fun as sitting on a cactus, which reminds me of that time I got my scrotum pierced.
Well,
On purpose.
Well, the first time it was not on purpose, but the second time it was.
you had to get matching piercings.
You get it, Corso. See? I like this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got some piercings myself.
I must say, there's a certain fascinating chemistry going on between the two of you that Yes, you would like to come, you say, to Col Sador?
Yeah, any adventure is better than going back downstairs.
What can you do? Can you do anything?
Well, yeah, I can dance. Do you want to see me dance? I can tumble and do all sorts of acrobats. And here, do you want your wallet back?
Hey, you all right? I'm sold on this guy. I did a little bit of thievery back in my day.
All right. Well, it sounds like a little adventure, a little birthday adventure for Farin is in order. And yes, you know that the council and Lord Unctious, his administrative capability was Gilles Saint-Pitié's wisdom, and even Krieg's vigilance to a degree. The people's kingdom will be fine. They should go off and take care of business yourself. And so, why don't you guys go ahead and have that dinner, have some roast beast as they bring it out. And before you know it, it is dawn. And you are all in the apparatus of Orijiabi, a magical airship that Farin owns that can fold up into a small carrying case on command. And you're racing over the province of Farwall on your way to Col Sador, which is many leagues away. Of course, first you have to cross Farwall, which is a province, and then you go over the Spinal Mountains and into the Elder Lands, and then out over the shallow sea called the Salty Shallows, and into the island nation of Blackpool, where this Lord Bane has risen to power. But for now, you're over peaceful lands. And as the sun rises, there's a lovely panorama below you as you sail over a farming region of patchwork fields and quaint villages. The land is very peaceful, but the sky is not always very peaceful. And there's a hill up ahead with the ruins of an ancient clockwork golem sprawled upon it, a huge one. It's been there since the wars of the Time of Troubles hundreds of years ago, and it's all covered with foliage now. But from behind the hill where that clockwork golem sprawls, an airship looms up into the sky. It's clearly heading for you. It's an Aerotroll class ship, so it's about twice the size of yours, and a flag unfurls on it, and you recognize the Scarlet Skull. It's the flagship of Harlotta, the queen of the Sky Pirates, and she's always coveted the apparatus for herself. And the apparatus you have is wondrous, to be sure, but it's not armed, and it's not particularly fast. Harlotta's ship shoots towards you, and you can even see the flame-haired Harlotta in her white skin suit, almost like a mirror image of Farin. She's looking smug on the poop deck, and she's got about 15 men, and as they get closer and closer, they're getting ready to throw grappling hooks, and there's really no avoiding it, and soon you can hear the grappling hooks dunk, 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 slapping into the deck of the apparatus, and they swing over onto your decks, and a fight starts. And Marm, you are the littlest and by far the quickest of everyone here. And Marm, what do you do in the situation? You can see there's a good 5 guys climbing up onto the deck looking at you like they want to eat you for breakfast. And of course, they're all decked out in outlandish costumes, as Sky Pirates often are. And you have a chance to do something to these 5 before they pounce on you and carve you up. What do you do, Marm?
Well, I don't think there's enough of me to go around to feed all 5 of them for breakfast, so I'm going to try to discourage at least 2 of them with my boomerang.
Okay, well, you hurl your boomerang in their direction. That's a ranged attack, so roll less than your dexterity, and you're attacking 2 of those guys. So now you're already at a -7 bonus to attack them individually. So since you're attacking 2 at once, we're going to add 2 back into that as a penalty. So you have a -5 bonus on this roll to hit both of them with your boomerang.
Well, I succeed. And I will split that evenly between them.
Yes, and they will take each 5d6 points of damage. And of course, the boomerang then spins around and comes back into your hand.
12 on one. 14 on the other.
Well, the one that you did 14 to staggers back and falls off the edge of the airship. Down below. The other one is bleeding profusely from the head, and he holds up his hand and squats down at the edge of the railing while his other 3 men step in to protect him, Marm. Meanwhile, Farin, 5 of them come running at you. We get a bonus if we take you, says the leader. His breath reeks of garlic, Farin. The other one licks his lips as he looks you up and down, because I'm assuming you're now in your rubber adventuring suit. Your
adventuring armor, indeed.
Yes, and which leaves nothing to the imagination in terms of shapeliness, even though it's not really revealing. And so the 5 of them come up to you, but you, Farin, being far more experienced, can attack them first or do anything else that you can think of. What do you do?
Well, I'm going to attack all 5 of them with my Vorpal sword.
Very good. So altogether, this would be a +2 bonus because of the difference in your levels and also your penalty for attacking all of them at once. You have a +2 bonus. I'm sorry, a -2 bonus. Yeah. Minus in the black hack is good.
I needed an 18. I rolled a 9.
Oh, there you go. So let's have his damage on each of them. Maybe you can take them all out. You never know.
Okay. Get my giant pool of D8s going here. All right.
There's a fistful of D8s tonight on Gonen's World.
44. Okay. So you can't really divide that by 5 evenly.
Yes, you can just do 11 to 4 of them instead. Man, we are good at doing math fast in our heads. And so they stagger backwards. None of them are killed, but they're sliced up. They're taken aback. They look at you somewhat more warily now. And then meanwhile, Corso, you've got 5 of them coming in at you. All right, fat boy, it's time to pay the fiddler, says one of the pirates to you, Corso. What do you do?
I am going to reach my hand down to where you'll see a very fancy-looking holster, and out of that holster comes a wand. And some of you might have heard of the Wand of Wonder, but since we've been playing, the Wand of Wonder and Corso have been just go hand in hand. It kind of defines him.
That's right. It's his power. It's his superpower.
Yeah, it rolls like random magical spells or effects.
Yeah, but it doesn't always work. Like Corso, it's getting a little old, and if he rolls a 1, it's not going to work. So go ahead and wave your wand.
And say, hey, Marm, check this out. And I rolled a 4, so...
Okay, it goes off. Now roll percentiles to see what happens.
75.
75. Well, a fireball rips out right towards this crowd of guys. It's 10d6 fireball. So you or someone else who's really fast at rolling d6s can roll 10d6. And that's how much damage the crowd of 5 guys who's attacking you is going to take.
Okay. 10, you said?
Yeah, 10d6. Okay. And all of them are going to take this amount. We're not dividing it. They're all engulfed in this fireball that's come out of your wand. That's a great first wave for the wand.
38.
38. Man, we are good at doing math fast. Wow. Just look at us go. And 38 points of damage. They burst into flames. I mean, these guys have 14 hit points, so they burst into flames. It's a terrible conflagration. They rush hither and yon on the deck, stumble backwards, luckily don't catch anything on fire, and soon enough, 5 of them are like little comets or falling stars plummeting towards the ruins of that clockwork golem far below.
Still got it.
And anyway, the other 2 of you, though, face a counterattack. Farin, you get a -2 bonus to this roll, but you may either parry or dodge the counterattack that comes swarming in at you from these heavily wounded men that you've been fighting.
Well, I'm going to parry, and you say I have a -2?
You have a -2 bonus.
That'll be a 2 then, so that will succeed.
Oh yes, flitting the vorpal sword about and spinning and kicking, you avoid taking any damage at all from this round. Meanwhile, Marm, of the 3 who are left, that was my friend. You're going to pay for that. Now we really are going to eat you for breakfast. And the 3 of them come at you with their blades. Marm, what do? Do you want to try to dodge them with your dexterity or counter their attack with your strength?
Yeah, Marm's going to dance around the deck here and use his dexterity to avoid their blows.
I hope so. And you also have a -2 bonus to this roll. So whatever it is, it's 2 less.
Well, that will fail because I got right on a 17.
No! Well, the 3 of them grab you and begin shaking you. One of them sticks you a few times. And altogether, you take 18 points of damage from these guys. Do you want to spend an armor point to avoid that damage, or do you want to go ahead and take the 18?
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and spend 1 armor point on that.
Okay, well, you're luckily none of them. They don't do any serious damage to you. Every time they try to stab you, they hit a buckle or something. But the buckle comes undone. Your armor's slightly damaged. Might want to take some time and try to repair it later. But luckily, you don't take any actual damage. And Marm, it's your turn now. What do you do? These three guys are right on top of you now, though. You're in like a little cluster of a melee.
What Marm would like to do is use his hook shot to shoot across the ship and then drag that rope across the deck, tangling these fellows up into a bundle that will either fall down or fall off the ship.
Well, that sounds very swashbuckling, and it sounds so swashbuckling that I'm going to fudge a little bit and give you your nimble expertise on that roll. So why don't you go ahead and go for that? You're going to have your, of course, you still have the -2 bonus in dealing with these guys due to level differences.
I needed a 17. I got a 7.
Yeah, and in fact, you actually have no bonus or penalty at all because there's 3 of them now. So you got what you needed. And so, yeah, when you say across the airship, you mean to the other side of this airship, right?
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, you zip. They're just, you're right in the midst of them. You fire the hook shot. It pulls you up out of there, and you grab the rope and twist it around them, and they are, of course, entangled at the moment. It's rather comical as they're cinched together and go bumping into each other. They're like a little spider body, with a lot of legs. Oh, whoa. And you know what? Just because you're on an airship, I think I should see if they fall off. So if someone would roll for me, and if you get an 11 or less,
17.
Their dexterity is 12. No, they tumble off as well and fall down. And a little bit later, if you were listening, you hear a clunk on the ruins of that clockwork golem far below you. And now there's just the ones left on Farin. And Farin, do you want to try to dispatch these? You heavily sliced them up only a moment ago. Do you think you could take them all now?
I'm pretty sure I can. And with a 10, that is going to succeed. So I will roll. All right, so let's see. One of them takes 14.
Yeah, he's sliced in half and he falls to the deck in 2 separate pieces, his legs kicking.
Another one takes 14.
He slips in that guy's blood and falls down and cracks his head open on the chronomatic axiom governor.
One takes 7.
You cut his arm off. He tries to catch it with the other arm and becomes unbalanced and falls off the airship.
One takes 9, and the last takes 6.
And the last guy staggers backwards, thrust in the belly, looks at his friend who falls and says, "No!" And then he jumps off. And then the other one looks at you and shrugs and gurgles up some blood and collapses in a heap. And now there's no one left except just 30 yards from you on the other airship, looking furious as she stands on the poop deck, is Harlotta, Queen of the Sky Pirates. Do you wish to take her on, the 3 of you? Do you have what it takes to fight Harlotta? She's giving you that obnoxious Matrix come here gesture with her hand, like it's a bad anime, and she's ready to fight you.
Arm goes and pees off the rail in her direction.
She looks with distaste at first and then mild surprise and raises her eyebrows.
Bigger than you thought.
I'll have that apparatus now, Farin, unless you'd like me to humiliate you here in front of your lackeys.
Oh, are you going to make me come over there to kill you?
Oh, why don't you just fly over?
Flying is overrated. I'll walk, she says, and begins to walk.
Okay, you walk over there. You'll have to jump, that last bit.
Right, a little leap.
Yeah, go ahead and do a leap. It's a big enough leap that we probably need a dexterity roll here. Less than your dexterity.
Whoops, that's going to be a 19.
It looks like you might have to fly.
Well, so Farin, makes a little leap, slips, falls off the deck of the airship and begins plummeting to the earth, and then transforms into a bird and flies up.
Nice save.
And then once above the deck of Harlotta's ship, transforms back and says, "I meant to do that."
I'm sure. Have at you, she says. And you guys can clash. You are completely equal in skill. So, but Farin, you are more or less the aggressor and the intruder, and you have the initiative. And so you can go ahead and attack first. There is no penalty, no bonus here. She also is a 10 hit die character just like you.
Well, that'll be an 11, which will hit.
You'll certainly hit her. And you may go ahead and roll your damage.
$46.
46. A buckle snaps and part of her armor falls off onto the ground as she spends an armor point to avoid that. Tricky girl, she says. And then she spins around and tries to do a downward swiping motion. It's meant to cut you in two from the shoulder down to your side. And go ahead and either parry or dodge that blow with either strength or dexterity.
I will successfully parry with a 6.
And it bangs her sword out of the way. And then meanwhile, while this fight's happening, Marm, do you want to do anything?
Yeah, Marm would
like to watch
use
the
his
show.
hook shot to swing over there and bash into her like a wrecking ball.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, go for it. And let's go ahead and have a range attack roll to have that hook shot in just the right place, to leverage it where you can swing right into her. The trajectory just right.
Let's cue the Miley Cyrus music.
That's right. We bought the rights to it. Yes.
I rolled a natural 20.
Okay, well, in this case, unfortunately, that'd be the worst thing you could possibly roll. And so, Marm, you hit it in the right spot, all right. And Farin, you feel this rush of air past your head as Marm swoops by, missing by about 1.5 feet, and then loses his grip on the edge of the hook shot and off down below, and we'll catch up with him in a moment. Meanwhile, Corso, what are you doing?
I'm gonna miss that little guy. Oh well. I'm gonna get a closer look at this cat fight going on. So he's gonna try to leap over, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and make a dexterity roll. Don't roll. Yeah, roll under your dexterity, where you two can join Marm and wherever he's going to end up.
Okay. Well, I'm not as dexterous as I used to be, but I still got a pretty good high number there. And I got a 13 out of a 17.
Okay, so you're standing right over, well, it's not like they're down on the ground, pinching and slapping each other. This is a proper sword fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nevertheless, you're right there.
Clothes are coming off. I mean, some
that is
armor
true.
just fell off.
That is true. In Harlotta's case, yes. She's now in a sort of sleeveless skin suit, I guess. But, yeah, so you just come over there to get a closer look. That sounds good. And then, anyway, Farin, you may take up another move. I know you think you've got the advantage, but you don't. You've always been a weaker fighter than me, Harlotta says.
I don't think so, dear, she says, and hits again with a 13.
Okay. Well, you know what? Go ahead and roll damage, because it's not very much. She might not spend an armor point. I was going to save you the damage roll, because, she's got a little bit of armor left.
Well, 31. It's not terrible.
Yeah, she does not want to take that. And then, bam! Oh no! Now the top half of her armor, the buckle, you sliced it, it falls off. She's just there now, halter topped, and the bottom half of the pantsuit, her sleeves and top part hanging down. And she only has one armor point remaining, though. And she whips back around with a flying, spinning maneuver, hoping to cut your head off. And you may go ahead and parry that with your vorpal sword.
That's going to be a 5.
And you do. Cling! It rings out. Now you see the anger almost pass over her eyes. Meanwhile, Marm, you are still falling.
Yeah, I hope there's some water at the bottom like last time.
No, all you see is a jagged ruins of a giant clockwork golem. It's covered with foliage, like I say. It looks like there's some heavy mosses down there. You might get lucky, but for you, it's just wind whistling past your ears as you fall. It'll take a while for you to fall.
Well, Marm tries to use his short sword like a helicopter blade to slow himself down as he falls.
Okay. You know what? I don't know if you have any percentiles, but I'm going to say there's a 1% chance that will work because stranger things have happened. There's a 1% chance that you'll get just enough lift to soften the blow enough that it wouldn't be instantly fatal, just crippling. No. So you guys, anyone who does look down and see Marm certainly has to admire his spirit. He's not going to go, he's not going to give up. But Corso, what are you doing? You see this all happening in front of you, and is there anything you'd like to contribute?
I'm going to look over the edge and see if I can see Marm.
Yeah, you see him down there swinging. Yeah, you see him swinging his little, short sword over his head like a rotor blade, trying to arrest his fall.
Can I cast Dimension Door?
You sure can.
Okay. Yeah, I just can't let the little guy go out like that. And I'll cast that on him and put him back on the deck if I can.
Yeah, Marm, suddenly you find yourself, it must have worked, because suddenly you find yourself, bam, you're right back up on the deck. You don't know what just happened. You're a little discombobulated. You're not sure that all of your molecules are in the same place as they were a few seconds ago, but you're right here now with Corso watching your new friend Farin fight Harlotta, the Queen of the Sky Pirates, who seems to be getting the worst of it, even though she is undamaged. Her armor's falling off. And Farin...
I wanted to bring you back so you can watch this show right here.
Wow, you did that? Because I was falling, and then I stopped falling, and I was up from where I was falling, so I must have fallen up somehow. Either that or
can't you quiet
myself at the ground?
Quiet that rat. Quiet that rat so we can fight. Harlotta
Keep
says.
talking. You're distracting her.
No, he's not. Farin, do you want to attack her?
Sure. I will hit again with a 14.
Okay. And let's see what kind of damage we've got. She's got only one armor point left.
49, 54.
54. Obviously, she's going to spend that last bit of armor, and ridiculously, now the lower half of the skin suit falls. And, this armor is not very well connected, apparently. And now it's a full-on ivory bikini moment sword fight. And she tries to get tricky. She's been doing the high spinning thing. She goes for a low spinning thing to cut your ankles off, as you'll topple over. And she drops and spins and swings her blade. And Farin, you must parry it.
Another 5.
And again, drat, she says. She bangs her fist on the deck in anger and then leaps back up. And Marm, you're standing right there. Do you want to contribute anything to this situation now that you're up here?
Yeah, well, just some dialogue, because she looks pretty good, but I don't think she looks as good as Farin, because Farin's got a really nice figure, and she still has some of her clothes on, but, the white really goes with her hair a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to do any fighting here.
Shut up! Shut up! She said. And Corso, do you want to do anything?
No, I don't think so. I'm getting closer.
Well, she stands up. Harlotta stands up, and she looks over at you, Farin, and she goes, I may not be as pretty as you, but I am a true aeronaut, something you will never be. And then she pulls a lever on her Gaxium governor, and she steps off the edge and plummets to her death. And then you can see that the Gaxium governor on this ship is going to overload and explode in about 10 seconds. You guys will need to get back to the apparatus and get out of here.
I shouldn't have wasted that Dimension Door spell on Marm. I could have saved it. This hottie Oh, well.
I don't think it was a waste. I really appreciate you using it on me, really. It saved me because I didn't fall anymore.
Well, I'm gonna need 3 dexterity rolls because this Gaxium governor on her ship, you can see the seams of it, rivets are starting to pop out. As you guys rush to jump back over to...
fuck.
Is that going to be...
no! Corso's down!
I wrote a natural 20.
Oh, shit. Corso, yeah, it's not only do you fall, it's like the most embarrassing type of fall. You know, you fall on and bang your chin on the apparatus as you fall, and now you're spinning head over heels, head over heels, head over heels. Marm, how did you do?
Rolled a 9.
Did you make it, Marm?
Yes.
All right, and how about Farin?
5.
Okay, well, you guys both make it over. You look and Corso spinning. Corso, what do you do? You're falling. What do you do?
Do I have a chance to shot him?
Well, yeah, you sure could. It could hurt him, but go ahead if you want to. You have to grab your hook shot, so he's got about a round where he's got to do something. Corso's falling. Oh, no!
Rolled a 4.
And that hook shot comes out. All right, well, Corso, you, you're hit with the Corso. You take 6 points of damage, unless you'd like to use an armor on that, but frankly, I wouldn't waste the armor. I'd take the 6. And
I'll take it.
It hits you right in the chest, knocks the wind out of you, but if you make a dexterity roll, you can grab onto the hook and chain before you fall.
Okay, and you said 6 damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, take 6 damage and then make a dexterity roll so that you can grab the hook, because it's just kind of bounced off your chest.
Well, I made it by 1.
You scramble for it, you just get it now. Marm, it was all fine and good, and now you're not the world's biggest guy. You're 3.5 feet tall, and suddenly there's a huge lurch on the gun in your hands as it takes all of Corso's considerable weight, because he's not a little guy. So, Marm, please make a strength roll to not have the hook shot gun ripped out of your hands.
Yeah, it feels like there's about 6 gallons of salt marsh gold at the end of this thing.
That's right.
And I rolled a 5, so I managed to hold it.
Oh, nice. Well, eventually, Corso, you get back up on the deck of the apparatus, and
I kind of picture Farin standing there watching Marm haul Corso up, much in the same way that Marm and Corso sat there and watched her fight.
Yes.
Well, I'm actually I was planning for Farin to be unhooking this exploding airship grappling hooks.
Yes,
from the
and
deck.
flying the hell out of there. Yes,
Yeah.
she's been doing that, and as you guys are, in fact, as you're pulling him up, you're roaring away in the apparatus, so Corso's like trailing out on the line, right? So like almost like dragged behind it, and there's a huge explosion as the Scarlet Skull goes up in flames and falls to the ground far below. And congratulations, you have managed to defeat Harlotta, Queen of the Sky Pirates.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Kaz Jabbage here to talk to you about Gax Cola, the refreshing blue beverage made with real Gaxium. Now I know what you're thinking. Gaxium, isn't that the stuff they use to fuel airships? Well, yes it is, but it's also a tasty drink. I drink it every day. And it's 100% completely safe. Excuse me. It's 100% completely
safe. What the fuck, man? What the fuck is happening to me? I'm turning blue. What the fuck? I'm turning blue. Wow.
Taste the tingle.
Warmest greetings, friends. Have you ever dreamt of traveling the skies, exploring exotic lands such as the Isle of Orange, or being able to travel from Brockwall to Highseat in mere hours? Well, now you can. My name is Butterscotch Whipple, and I'm here to introduce the Gravois line, a fleet of affordable airships sailing the skies above Lodessa on regular schedules. Air travel is no longer a luxury reserved for nobles and diplomats. Oh, no. Everyone is welcome aboard our ships to experience the joy and speed of sailing the skies. Send away for the latest schedules by writing to Gravois Line, Imperial Airfield, Zelamont Fort, Isle of Orange, and book your journey, be it for business, pleasure, or family leisure, as soon as possible. We look forward to serving you.
Gravois Line is not responsible for the death, injury, or illness of passengers due to piracy, plague, disease, fire, acts of war, going pilot error, food poisoning, chronomatic accident, government explosions, spontaneous bag deflation, wood rot, or wyvern encounters while aboard our ships. Chances of death or serious injury while traveling with Gravois Line are less than 1 in 6. Insurance is available from bonded third-party agencies.
All right. Well, it's been a long journey through Farwall, and it's, again, towards the end of that day, you're flying through the Spinal Mountains. It's too cold to fly over them, to go up that high. So most aeronauts maneuver in between them. It's usually not very dangerous. It's not like there's any real tight fits. But as you're going by, on either side of you are jagged, pine-covered peaks, and little snake-like wisps of cloud weaving their way in and out of the mountains. And at any given point, you might not be, that far away from a mountainside. And on one of the mountains up ahead, there's this line of so-called white flowers peeking out through the trees. These ancient artifacts have been here since primordial times. They're scattered throughout wilderness areas. They aim at the sky, and folks say they quiver and hum with the words of Gonen himself. If someone from our world were to look at them, they would sure look a lot like radio telescopes or satellite dishes of some kind. But as you're admiring those so-called flowers, the branches of some trees behind them actually part, and you can see, really tiny, like the size of toy soldiers, there are several hyperflines, big, hairy flying, dog-like humanoids, and they're aiming this massive, very primitive, but very massive ballista right at the apparatus, and it launches. And those dog-like hyperflying just howl with glee as the huge bolt strikes the bag of your airship. They've been waiting. They got the perfect shot. And there's this huge lurch as it hits the bag above you. And everybody make dex rolls or you can fall off into the trees on the mountainside.
Ooh. I rolled right on it, so I failed.
Oh no, and Farin goes off, and you, again though, luckily you're not that far from the trees on the mountainside. Any other failures? Nope. Okay, Farin, you go off the edge, but you can see that there's air leaking from your airbag now anyway. You know that apparatus can heal itself magically, but not instantly, and it's starting to go down slowly. But Farin, you land in the trees, and all the different branches break your fall, right? So it's like boom, 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 boom. And they're pine branches, so it's slowly... Well, you only take 6 points of damage from the landing. Meanwhile, you two guys who are still on the apparatus, you're going down real slow. It's not gonna be a hard crash landing, but land you will until this airbag can heal itself. And the hyperflines far, and as soon as you land and stand back up, you can see they're running towards you to attack. Your friends are almost down now, too. These hyperflines are spinning their flying bars, running through the trees. Flying bars are like this nunchuck-like weapon of 3 linked bars. It's their special weapon. And, come out and fight like a dog, one of them cries. Free dogs, yells another one. Free dogs! And they're all shouting the name of their own tribe. And I'm afraid there's going to be another fight here with these flines, unless you can somehow make friends with them. And you guys are in the shadow of these white flowers, here. The trees have grown up all among the white flowers. And in fact, they really do seem like they hum. You can almost feel this vibration from the flowers, like 10011110011001110. It just pulses through you during this fight. The hyperflines are screaming and running. But again, you guys are far more powerful than them individually. And Farin, since you were down there first, you may make the first attack, and 3 of these hyperflyings comes rushing into you. They look like there are 9 of them altogether, far, and 3 of them have rushed up to you. You would be at a -4 bonus if you wanted to attack all of them.
Well, a bonus. Okay, yeah. In that case, I will attack all of them.
All right.
And with the -4, that's going to be a 2.
And that's certainly this pack leaps in your direction, but you're ready for them, and you may roll damage as your vorpal blade slices around.
39. So 11, 11, and 8. Or no, 11, 11, and 18.
Okay. The one that you did 18 points of damage to, the vorpal blade goes right through him, into his belly. You can feel it slice past his spinal cord, and he quivers and howls one last time and falls on the ground. The other 2 howl with pain, but they're not hurt quite as bad as he was.
I did that math wrong, but whatever.
Well, I think it's probably close enough. And Marm, meanwhile, you guys are just about to land. You can see these 3 flyings. They're rushing up towards you. They're still, they're nearby. They're not right up on you, but you could attack with a ranged weapon if you wished as you land, Marm. You'd be landed at the end of this round. And the flyings are jumping up and down. There's 6 of them trying to converge with where the airship is coming in for its landing. What do you do, Marm?
Marm is not yet convinced that the wrecking ball is a bad idea, so he's going to try it one more time, swinging down on a rope from the airship as it descends into the mass of writhing hyperflyings on the ground.
Well, as usual, it's a terrible idea because there's really not that much room, but terrible ideas have never bothered Marm. And so you come swinging in!
And a 4 is going to succeed in that case.
It sure is going to succeed. Now, this is your body itself doing the damage, more or less, so it will be your unarmed damage. And you go boom, 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 and hit all 3 of them in a row. So you can either roll the total and divide it, or you can roll separately for each one. You got 10 d6 to play with.
5, and 6... so 8 points of damage.
Okay. Now, that's not enough to kill any of them, obviously, but the force of your blow forces them to stumble and fall backwards, and they land prone. Their lower legs, come flying up into the air, and their tails go between them. They're scrambling to get up, and I assume you dropped off the rope at this time and do a landing amongst the trees.
Yes.
Yes, and then Corso, you were just right at the edge of the airship. It's going to touch down any second. There's 3 flyings menacing you and giving you come on looks and barking at you. What do you do, Corso?
Is there any way to, land the ship on them?
Well, not really, no.
Okay.
Yeah, you're kind of coming in at an angle of a hill, and they're kind of actually above the level of the airship at this point.
Okay. I will, once it lands, I will, or right before it lands, I'm just gonna, jump off it and do a little somersault, but it looks, I just picture it looking very awkward, since he forgets that he's as old as he is now.
Yeah.
My back. And then he's gonna wave his wand at the...
Oh, here it comes. All right, well, roll a d4 to see if the wand goes off. That thing doesn't always get it up these days. A 1 in 4 chance of not working.
Oh my god, I rolled a 1.
Oh no, so you jump, you do the flip, you wave it at them, and nothing happens. They howl with laughter. And meanwhile, Farin, 2 of those flyings are still fighting you, and they swing their flying bars in your direction. If you want to parry both of them at the same time, you would actually get a -5 bonus now.
With the -5 bonus, that is a 0.
That's great. And again, the flying bars bang off of the vorpal sword as you weave it about you in a net of defense. And Marm, the three of them who are on the ground, they get up at you, and rage is in their eyes now. Their little yellow doggish eyes almost turn red with anger, and they bare their teeth at you. And they are so angry they don't even pick up their flying bars and come in with their teeth bared, saliva dripping off their jaws. And once again, it looked like you just might get eaten for breakfast. Only these guys might really eat you. And Marm, if you would like to dodge all of their attacks at the same time, you may do so at a -4 bonus. The reason you guys are getting a lot of bonuses is because you're very high level, even against multiple foes who are lower level than you.
With the bonus, it'd be a 4.
All right, leaping and dodging. They cannot lay hands on you, and it's irritating them quite a bit as well. Corso, those three laugh at you, and then the three of them together swing their flying bars, and they're doing it in this coordinated way too. There's like 3 little circles of death. Spin, 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 and they come rushing up to attack you. Do you want to try to parry it with your sword by making a strength roll, or do you want to dodge out of the way with a dexterity roll?
Dexterity roll would probably be my best.
Okay,
roll.
I hope you make it. And so you're going to have a -4 bonus to this roll.
Back, doggies, back. And I rolled an 8.
Well, you do. You back out of the way, but then suddenly at the end of the round, the bushes wiggle up ahead, and a big hyperflying leaps out from behind the bushes. He's wearing a mountain yak skull for a helmet, and he's got a necklace of stones. He's clearly some kind of hyperflying shaman. He's probably their leader, and he goes, "You nasty black Pudlian spies! You think you could steal our land? We'll show you!" And he waves his hands, and he goes, "Boogala, boogala, 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 boogala," as if he's going to cast a spell. This is Boogala, Lord of the Flines, and he's going to get you. And a fireball rips towards you guys, and go ahead and make dexterity rolls to jump out of the way. Of course, he also, based on what he said, he thinks that you're Black Pudlian spies.
Well, I failed.
No! Did anyone else fail?
No.
Okay.
He did.
Farin, your armor might have to save you here. As 30 points of damage rip in your direction, Farin.
Yeah, I'll have to use an armor point there.
Yeah, you know, you can kind of do a crouch and curl your body up into a ball where the armor will take most of that, and a lot of the outer layer of that rubber armor kind of melts off, makes it pockmarked looking along the back. But luckily, at the cost of a point of armor, you don't take any damage. Now that you know this guy thinks you're Black Pudlians, does anyone want to try to parlay and stop this fight before it goes any further?
Yeah, Marm throws down the boomerang he was getting ready to draw in disgust, puts his hands on his hips, and goes, "By Gonen's grimy grundle, you thought we were from Blackpool?"
We are on our way to Blackpool, you stupid canines.
Boogala is not stupid. I am the smartest of all hyperflines. I have the power of magic. But our enemies are Black Pudlians. They've driven us out. We, the free dogs, driven out of the Red Coast. You know, that's the part of the Elderlands that's closest to the island of Blackpool. It's like all these red cliffs. They're kind of like the White Cliffs of Dover in England, only they're red. We've been driven out because that Black Pudlian leader, Lord Bane, he's caused this great machine to be built there, and it's sucking up land into it. Where it goes, no one knows. Trees, flowers, birds, beasts, stones, dirt, water. It all goes into this huge machine, and it never comes back. If you're not Black Pudlians, then who are you? You say you're going there? You better not be going to join him.
Oh, no, we're going to see what he's up to, and I'm afraid you've actually just told us quite a lot of potentially very useful information, so thank you.
Oh, well, who are you?
Oh, I'm Farin, Queen of Farwell, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, now the other Flines who weren't dead yet, they're standing up and stretching, and they all come around and look at you, and they're all... This is not rude in their culture, and it's luckily you know it, but now they all come up and start smelling you guys and getting close and sniffing you all over. And,
Whoa. Watch it. Watch it.
I, Boogala, tell you this, Queen Farin. If you defeat Lord Bane and the Free Dogs, we will swear loyalty to you. But defeat them you must. That Lord Bane is a terrible threat to this land. Sucking up the world. Destroying it. Who knows?
I just wanted to point out that if you swear loyalty to the Queen, which I think is a good idea, but if you do, I don't think you guys can call yourself Free Dogs anymore.
Well, we'll call ourselves whatever we want. At least we're not been reduced to being a Queen's jester. That's obviously what you are.
Now you watch it there, Fleabag.
You waving that impotent wand around.
I just have to play with it a little bit first, and then it wakes up.
Prove it.
It works fine.
Prove it.
You don't want him to prove it, sir, I assure you.
That's a bad idea.
That's what I thought. But nevertheless, you serve a powerful master. And so if you can defeat Lord Bane, then yes, the Free Dogs will be in your service forever.
Yes, very well. That sounds wonderful. I'm afraid we're going to have to wait for our lovely ship, which you've ballisted, to repair itself. But
pretty good, huh? Pretty good. Didn't even have to roll for that one. Right, boys? And they all laugh and look at each other. Oh, listen, we have something for you. I have something that will help you while we wait. If you're going to fight Lord Bane, he could be very terrible. So I want to give each of you some dog water. And he brings up coconuts for you. They've been hollowed out with corks in them. Yes, you might call it a healing potion. Will restore you to full health when you need it. And also, I'm going to give each of you one of these magical beans I have. And if you eat this bean, it will protect you for about an hour. And then you'll be very flatulent. Then you'll be very flatulent for about an hour. But basically, if you eat one of these beans, it gives you an extra magic point for about an hour. Not magic point. It gives you an extra... If you eat one of these beans, it gives you an extra armor point for about an hour. Yeah. And of course, the dog water is a healing potion that will restore you to full hit points once when you need it.
Okay, so we get one of each of the healing potion?
Yeah, then he gives you each a bean.
All right.
Yes, a bean to fight Bane. How poetic.
Bean for Bane. I don't get it, he says. And obviously, Boogala, leader of the Free Dogs, may not be quite as bright as he thinks. So...
He is still the smartest hyperflying, though.
He's the smartest and the most tremendous and bigly hyperflying I've ever seen.
Of course I am.
Funny hair, though.
At least I could get my wand to work.
You just watch it there, mister.
Well, after making friends with the Free Dogs, you're deep in the Elderlands. Your apparatus having repaired itself over the course of the rest of the afternoon. And now night has fallen, and the moons shine down over the trackless forest of trees below you. And every now and then the moonlight illuminates the stone ruins of ancient cities of the Odium Empire, now long dead. But suddenly, the moonlight is blotted out. And as you look above you, you see an incredibly vast bulk floating through the air silently, so silent you didn't even notice its approach. It's long and sinuous and indescribably huge. It is Gunga Khan, the legendary sky serpent. It could swallow you whole with just one bite, the entire apparatus. And suddenly it lurches and twists, and this huge shadow lurches down towards you with this impossibly wide open mouth. So Farin, or whoever is flying, make a dexterity roll with a +6 penalty to avoid being swallowed by Gunga Khan.
Well, I assume it would probably be Farin piloting, although she probably isn't the best at it. But she rolls a 4, so Well, and with a +5, so it'd be
You
9.
have +6.
Or +6, so 10. Still
Nice. Well, you get the hot breath comes out of you, but at the last minute, you swing the controls and the airship lurches out of the way, and you can hear the huge jaws snap. You almost feel like you could fly right into it. Meanwhile, its huge bulk is slowly turning back around to come at you guys again, but it's big and slow, and you guys are fast. Is there anything anyone wants to do with ranged weapons or anything else in the meantime?
All right, come on, baby. Come on, baby. I'm going to give my wand a shake. And I did not roll a 1.
Okay, roll percentiles. See what Gunga Khan thinks of the Wand of
Let me
Wonder.
down, baby. Oh my god. I rolled a 100.
Okay, well, you roll a 100 and Gunga Khan must roll against Gunga's Khan. Ha ha ha!
Nice. Nicely done, Sean.
Thank you, thank you. And yes, it is. Oh no! Oh no! Gunga Khan is instantly petrified, and there's a terrible crackling sound as the huge beast slowly turns to stone. It's so big, it has to radiate out from the point where you wave the wand, and it cannot fly, obviously. Its entire biology it begins to slowly topple out of the sky, and it begins to flip over with its huge long body, and there's a gust of wind is created by this, and the top of the tail as the body flips over looks like it could be in danger of smashing down right on top of the apparatus unless Farin can pilot out of the way in time.
Uh-oh.
Again, due to the size differences, again with a +6 penalty.
That will be with a +6 and 11 altogether, which still succeeds.
And you go right through the curly. The tail was a little bit curled when it turned to stone, and so there's like a little ring, and the airship goes right up to the ring of its body, and it falls down into the darkness. You don't even get the pleasure of seeing its body smash into so many pieces because, of course, it's so far down and so dark. But there's a sound of trees falling and rending and what might be a small avalanche, and you don't know what the ultimate fate of Gunga Khan could have just been. But Gunga, it's too bad you did not get a photograph or a little pictograph of it before, because if you could get a little pictograph on a little glass plate, the Highseat Observer will pay you 1,000 Farin. Yes.
I would have sent that to those stupid flyings to show them I still got it.
Yeah, you do. You just took down Gunga Khan with the Wand of Wonder. Congratulations. And actually, Gunga Khan rolling an 18 on that con saving throw did not help matters at all, because if you had made the con roll, you'd be in big trouble right now, maybe inside of Gunga Khan. But anyway, you don't need to worry about that. I guess Gunga Khan will think twice if he ever becomes living again or somehow turned back into what he once was. You'll think twice about tangling with the apparatus.
I'm going to blow the end of my wand, like as if it was a gun, smoking gun.
Right,
Blow
right.
it and then twirl it, and not activate it when I twirl it, but just for show, and then put it back in my holster. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, you guys fly until morning over the Elder Lands, and at dawn you can see the red coast in the south, and beyond that is the salty shallows. The red coast is so called because, again, there's that big line of red rock cliffs there. However, in the distance, many, many miles away, you can see this huge machine, and it must be huge because it is miles away. It is like an immense, massive black pyramid the size of a mountain. The biggest man-made structure you've ever seen is Power Tower Orko, and this dwarfs Power Tower Orko. It's got this huge hole in the side of it. And it seems like the very world itself, like the fabric of reality all around it, is just disassembling and spiraling into the hole on that huge pyramid off on the horizon. This has got to be what Bugala was talking about. And you're afraid to even get close to it to investigate it anymore. You might be sucked in too. Obvious, this must be what they're talking about, these infernal machines that this Lord Bane can create. If you want to stop whatever's happening there, you'll obviously have to get to Lord Bane somehow. You have the strong feeling that only he can really stop this. And if you want to, would you like to risk a closer look, or would you rather leave well enough alone and keep going towards Col Sador?
Well, metagamingly, I don't want to get... I have a very strong suspicion of where stuff that gets sucked into this is going. But Farin obviously has no clue. And probably just be terrified of getting near it.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely terrifying. It's almost like a black hole,
I kind of want to see what's inside. I don't know what's inside. I've never been inside of one of those. Can we see what's inside? Can we go inside
neither we.
Fly back out, maybe?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Certainly not if it's a one-way portal anyway, and I have no way of knowing whether it is. At least not without asking Bane.
But you can see that the very coastline has been changed, from maps you've seen. And it's literally, you even think the sea level has gone down. Some of the islands are standing a little higher in the water than they should. And it really does seem like a threat, to the world itself. But, yeah, you definitely have the extremely strong feeling that flying near it will get you sucked in and probably torn apart as well, because, you can see that as things go in, they're disassembling. They're coming apart into their constituent pieces. It's really nasty. And again, even scarier because it is so far away. It must be absolutely huge.
Well, I can't imagine that the local population is quite fond of this either. I suspect they likely aren't very fond of Bane.
Well, there's only one way to...
local population left.
Indeed.
There's only one way to find out if there's a population left and how they feel about Bane, and I guess that's to go to Col Sador, where he is. But leaving this horrific sight, off to starboard, by mid-morning you're sailing out over the salty shallows. These are very clear, shallow seas, and you can see from up here in the sunlight beneath the waves, you can see big shadows of ruins of the cities of the demon seamen who used to raid Blackpool back in the Age of Fable. And you can see little pods of dolphins and little octopus folk and others far below. But by mid-afternoon, you can see the smudge of Blackpool Island in the distance and the many smokes rising from the capital city of Col Sador. Now, Blackpool, of course, is the great enemy of Farin's kingdom. And for 2 decades, a Cold War has simmered, between the nations. Until recently, there was a fascist group called the First Party in control of a so-called republic that ruled Blackpool. But now, this mysterious Lord Bane seems to have taken over. So, you don't know a lot about him. Perhaps you can gather some useful clues or intelligence that might help in the taverns of Col Sador. You can see, as you get closer to the city itself, that there's a squadron of great black-bagged war dregs, which is the largest kind of battleship, just circling the city. And it might be best to land further away and, retract the apparatus into its carrying case, perhaps, and go in on foot. I'll let you guys think about how to do that. There's some wooded hills off to the west of the city with a lot of small, blackish-looking, mineral-rich ponds and lakes, which is where this region gets its name. And there's a road that kind of winds through them and leads directly into the towering black walls that are around Col Sador. And there's a huge gate, many, many stories high, that you can see even from a distance. It's standing open, and you can see there's like a stream of farmers and tradesmen going in and out of the city. And so, by now it is afternoon, and will be evening soon. So how would you guys like to try to get into the city of Col Sador?
Well, I think we should land and pack up the apparatus. I mean, there's getting into a scrum with some war dregs is never going to be a good idea with this thing. So,
yeah, I don't think that's going to go well. So, I think we should land, go on foot, even though I'm not in too good of shape right now.
Well, that's probably true. But, Farin, why don't you make a wisdom roll to see what the best way, the best route to come down where you'll be least likely to be seen by any of the travelers on the road or anything else, kind of a casual way to set her down.
I failed that with a 16.
No, well, unfortunately, right before you go down in through the trees, you're almost absolutely certain that somebody on the road looked up and went and had their hand up over to shield their eyes as if they were trying to see something from a distance. They didn't look like an important soldier. It looked like one of the tradesmen and farmers on the road. But somebody saw you land, you think. Nevertheless, yeah.
What are the odds that they would recognize the apparatus? Hopefully slim.
Yes, hopefully so. Well, you guys can get closer to the city now that you're on foot, and you come walking out of the wooded lake region and join the throng on the road. That person's not standing around looking. You didn't even see any real details about him. But the afternoon is getting closer and closer to evening by now, and as you get closer to that big gate, there are guards in black armor wearing red cloaks over the armor with a symbol of a black sun on them. And they're the Black Sun Guard. They've always been, here in Blackpool, always in command of the city, always commanded by whoever commands the city. They ignore you as you walk through the gate. There's no customs formalities. And the streets of Col Sador inside and beyond this huge multi-story gate are crowded and narrow and dark, especially because even though it's late at night, even if it were broad daylight, it would be dark here because the upper stories of all the buildings, they jut out just below the lower stories, and they only have this little narrow strip of sky at the top, and tangy bluish gax smoke hangs heavily in the air here as auto carts and cycles putter about, and they're competing for space with horses and pedestrians. And on almost every corner there are huge posters. Every crossroads, when you look up at all the buildings, there are gigantic posters with a picture of a very handsome man with sort of longish hair and a very serious but almost smug expression. But it's two-toned, so it's easy to print. And the word Bane is emblazoned across the top of all of these posters. And they're everywhere you look. You turn a corner, bam, there's a poster. And you have come to, in this first area that you've come to, this whole neighborhood, there's streets that's just lined with taverns. They all look snug. They all look private. They're all tucked away from prying eyes on the street, it seems. Blue gax lights are starting to flick on everywhere now as it gets darker and darker. And there are several taverns close to you. There's the Four Swans, the Slow Hare. There's the Grim Turtle. There's the Crossed Swords. Do any of those sound interesting to you at all? As a place to wet your whistle and gather some intelligence?
I'm going to gather some salt-washed gold and some food. I think we should visit all these taverns just to make sure we get all the so-called intel if we can, and food.
Well, the closest one's called the Four Swans. Beyond that on the streets, the Slow Hare, and then the Grim Turtle, and then the Crossed Swords. And of course, there's about 4,000 others as well.
I don't think we have time to visit all of them, probably, but might as well start with the closest, eh?
All right.
Well, the closest one, as I say, is the Four Swans. And when you enter through the door, the room actually opens up, and you see you've walked into a courtyard. It's a 3-story tall building, and it's open to the sky in the middle. And when you walk into the courtyard, there are galleries on each of the stories overlooking the courtyard, and there are tables up on them. Down here in the courtyard, there's a long bar that's sitting under a canopy. And the place is fairly crowded. People turn and look at you, but don't pay you any special interest. There's this really grim, hairy little man sitting behind the bar, and he's just selling actual buckets. He's handing out buckets to people, and they look like they're only serving the buckets. So you guys could go order a bucket if you want.
I'll have a vomit bucket, please.
I'll take a bucket, but it looks like it'd make a terrible hat.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty good on you.
I see you eyeballing this bucket, little one, says the unpleasant little hairy man behind the bar.
I was actually looking at the other bucket because that one looks like it might have a little bit of dirt on the outside of it, and I just washed my hands a little bit ago. Well, several days ago, but it was with the queen here, so I washed my hands, and now they're clean. I don't want to get them dirty with the dirty bucket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, if I give you a bucket full of Blackpool number 7 brew, perhaps, would that shut you up?
For a little while, I might need a second one.
No, for the love of Gonen. All right, see, what about you, Chubby? He said to you, Corso. Have a bucket?
Yeah, give me a bucket.
All right, there's the old Blackpool number 7 for you. And how about you, pretty lady?
I suppose I'll take a bucket as well. What is Blackpool number 7, you said?
Oh, yeah, Blackpool number 7. Oh, finest. If you sip it, it's basically a rather hoppy brew. It's refreshing. And he's pulling it up from a hole in the floor, almost like it's a well, and it's really cold. So, they're storing it down there where it's cold, so it's like a cold bucket. I'm sorry about the crowd in here, but Lord Bane, he's declared this whole fortnight to be a holiday. Put coins in every man's pocket to celebrate, but people still aren't happy, of course, But hey, most of them are unemployed anyway.
On the way into town, I couldn't help but noticing a giant vortex sort of consuming the entire countryside.
You saw it? I've heard tell of it. Well, it's best not to ask questions about such things. The news sheets began reporting it, and suddenly the guards took them away. And then the Black Crystal reported it on the broadcast, and then the Black Crystal broadcast suddenly stopped. For a few days, that is. Now they play nothing but an endless tirade of praise for Lord Bane. No, I wouldn't know about such things. You know who would, though? You see that fellow? Yes, look over there, up on the balcony, 3rd balcony. They say that as soon as Bane took the Black Castle, that he sacked all the bureaucrats who used to run things, and they've got some kind of big mechanical brain in there now. You believe that? Well, over there, up on the 3rd balcony there, that's Grover Hotwater. He's the former Chancellor of the Interior. Look at him now, crying in his ale. He used to know all the secrets of state under the First Party, but he's just one of us now. You're just one of us now! He yells up at Grover Hotwater. And, anyway, yeah, you look up, and there's this sad-faced man with blue mutton chops. He's sitting along the edge of the balcony in the gallery up there above you. Do you want to go talk to him?
Yes, I do think that we should ask him a few questions, boys.
Yeah, he definitely has, the equivalent of a giant exclamation point floating above his head, as if he just looks like he's a terribly interesting person to talk to. Even if he has adopted the fashion of dyeing his mustaches and mutton chops and beards blue, which is fashion here in Col Sador, as you're starting to realize. But he looks surprised when you climb up there to the gallery. And now you're looking down below at you can see the little hairy man down there under the bar far below you. And again, the place is filling up. From up here, too, you can see out of the place onto some taller buildings, and that big poster of Bane is like looking down at you almost. But he does look surprised, Grover Hotwater, when you come to see him, and his eyes go wide. He looks at you, Farin, and he goes, I recognize you.
Yes, I thought you might.
Oh, you'd best be careful here. The Lord Bane will send the entire Black Sun Guard after you. If he finds you here, you're as good as dead.
Yes, well, of course we've come seeking intelligence about this Bane. We heard he was doing some horrible things, and indeed on the way in witnessed some sort of vortex consuming the countryside.
Oh, I don't know. I could get into serious trouble. And he looks at each of you one by one, and I need each of you to make a charisma test. Roll less than your charisma on a d20. Even if you're not talking to him, he's assessing you as a group. And at least 2 of you need to pass it.
Success as well.
Nice.
Oh, I got a 2.
Well, he definitely thinks that Marm is certainly cute and inoffensive enough. It's because he hasn't really talked to him yet. And Farin, he already at least has some respect for politically. And Corso does well for himself, bats his big baby blues, and looks very innocent. And, well, I could get in trouble, but... No, what if I did get in trouble? I wish I could go back to the old days when the good old fascists used to run things. They knew how to get things done. At least they knew the value of a good bureaucrat, you see. The Lord Bane comes out of nowhere with deep pockets and his infernal machines, and he puts that mechanical brain in charge of everything. I can outthink any mechanical brain. And it gives me the sack, and he's got that big machine up on the Red Coast sucking up everything in existence. There's something strange about that one, I'm telling you. I don't even think he's from this world at all. Maybe he's like that god the ancient Odiamites used to worship, came here from another star. I don't know. Maybe I talk too much. I've had too much of this number 7. I'd like to get back into the Black Castle, because I left my attaché case in there. And there's some very sensitive documents in it, personal notes and whatnot to my sweet lady friend, you understand, but I'm not allowed back in. I know a secret way, of course, but I'm far too afraid to use it.
Oh, did you say secret way?
Yes, there's a secret way.
You said you're too afraid to use it, but... Oh, certainly I'm not.
Really?
We're not, she says, and motions to Corso and Marm.
Oh, I see. These are your specialists, then.
Yeah. And I'm no stranger to back doors, so...
Well, I could see the little one squeezing in through a back way, but I'm not so sure about you. You look like you look like a battery player who's gone to seed. No offense.
Well, you'd be surprised if I just apply a little bit of butter. I can squeeze in. I happen to like butter a lot too.
Mr. Hardwater, also.
Yes.
Clearly, you are aware of who I am, and I'm assume that you are aware of my career prior to politics.
Yes, I've seen your dossier, of course.
And have you heard of Nicholas Corso?
Yes, I have. Rather unfortunate and terrible person. From everything I've read, I would never want to meet him in real life. He sounds absolutely appalling.
Would you like to wave your wand of wonder at him, Corso?
Oh.
Well, perhaps once we've learned of this secret way.
Well, no, there's no need for the wand. I told you enough as it is, but no, maybe if anyone could...
I just want to say I get a bad rap, but I'm not, once you get to know me, I'm a pretty decent guy. And I was going to ask you, who was this, the guy that does the portraits for these posters of Bane? Because I want to hire him. I want that. I think he could capture me perfectly.
Perhaps so, but I have no idea who did the portraits, but certainly the documents and records for such payments would be in the Black Castle itself. Well, there's only one thing that concerns me, and I know who you are, he says to Farin, and now I know who you are, he says to Corso, but I'm still not sure about this one.
And we're still not sure about him either.
I'm Marm, and I'm from the future. At least that's what they said. So I guess it's allegedly from the future. So I could be from the future. I guess I could be from the past, and the numbers just got mixed up somewhere. But I think I'm from the future because I fell out of the sky with a big explosion when I fell through the hoop from the arms store. Not an arms store like you buy guns and or weapons and stuff at, but an arms store where you get actual arms.
I'm sorry I asked. Never mind. I'm sure you're very well qualified.
Yeah, we were going to shoot him out of a cannon, and now this is what we get.
Can we still do that sometime?
Well, I hope you...
Well, yes, of course. As soon as we've resolved this issue with Bane, and we get back to Highseat, I would love to fire you out of a cannon
I've seen a Weemold I fired out of a cannon at the circus. The fascists used to put on an excellent circus. They're very big on pageantry, you know, the fascists.
Well, it doesn't sound like, I mean, the fascists have obviously a large bureaucracy here, but it sounds like as though Bane isn't really much better, is he? Maybe worse.
Yes, he's worse. I'll admit it, he's worse. But really, I need my attaché case. Those letters would really embarrass my special lady friend, you understand. It's in the administrative center. Now, listen, I told you about a secret way. And he looks both ways. It's the safe trash room. Now, the castle always saves its trash for a fortnight before it finally gets destroyed. At least it did. After all, some bureaucrat might accidentally toss in an important paper. But Lord Bane's done away with paper. It's a paperless castle now, so the furnace is unused. And there's a smokestack on the back end of the Black Castle. And a good climber, you see, could come in that way. And once you're in there, you're in the heart of the administrative center. Now, most of the Black Sun Guard, they're on the perimeter. They don't expect a penetration up the pipe, you see. Or down the pipe, as it were. But they say that Lord Bane... They say Lord Bane is creating Gaxium Supermen in there. And I know the administrative center's trapped against intruders at night. I'd never go back in myself, but great heroes like you could certainly do it. What do you say? Will you retrieve my attaché case for me? And it's ridiculous that he thinks you come all this way to do him a personal favor of retrieving his attaché case, but that's like his number one priority.
Well, if I can find it, I will grab it and bring it back to you on the way out.
Yes, it's in the math room.
And you say these... The contents of this attaché is what?
Oh, they'd be very embarrassing for my special lady friend.
Oh.
They're letters of a personal nature.
I've got a few special lady friends myself.
Yes, I'm sure you used to, yes.
So if you want any tips, I could slip something into that attaché.
No, you mustn't open it. You mustn't open the attaché case under any circumstances.
All right, suit yourself.
All right.
You've got, like, order slips for boner pills or something.
Anyway, never mind about that. I've told you how to get in. Now. It's going to look suspicious if we sit here and talk for much longer. I'm still well known here. The people are ignorant, and they might not recognize you, but they'll think I'm speaking to spies if I linger much longer with the likes of you.
Well, Queen Farin, you gotta do something about that scar. But what can you do? Makeup? I actually know a thing or two about makeup. There's got some wrinkles in my hair. I've been using ink to cover up the gray, but that just makes a mess. That's why I want to know. I want to speak to this Lord Bane and see if he's really as good looking as he appears to be in this poster. But yeah, if you could, I'm sure one of these women around here's got some kind of paint. We could paint over that nasty scar of yours.
Well, and I assume Farin probably has, makeup. Excuse me, makeup and stuff, and she could probably at least make an attempt to conceal it somewhat.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure. Although so far it hasn't been that much of a problem. Maybe it's true, and the people are ignorant. And coming from a fascist government, the pictures that they show of Queen Farin might not look anything like you at all. They might look like some terrible, monstrous, hag, to demonize you. But disguising yourself is not a terrible idea, especially if you got captured or something. But there's a line of painted ladies waiting to get into the ladies' room. And if you'd like to go put on some makeup in there, you'll be just another lady adjusting her makeup in the...
Powdering her nose,
as it were.
Yeah, I think I would like to supervise that.
Does that mean you're leaving Marm unattended?
Yeah. I don't know if you want to leave Marm unattended, but no sooner did you wander off to the line of painted ladies that Marm is now unattended here by himself on the third floor gallery overlooking the courtyard of the Four Swans Tavern, while the two of you go down to the first floor and queue yourselves into the ladies' room. We'll deal with how Corso gets into the ladies' room in a minute. But Marm, what do you do up here by yourself?
Marm's going to climb up to the roof and take a look around and see if there's any other nearby buildings he could probably jump to and explore.
Oh, well, that sounds like a terrible idea. So, yes, let's do it. And, of course, the galleries have, columns that hold up the roof above it, and you're already on the top one. And, there's still plenty of people around. It's crowded. I don't know if you're trying to do this without being seen. That's going to be kind of difficult. But if you don't care, then it's no small matter at all for you to scamper up onto the roof, a person of your skill. It's just a matter of shimmying your way up a column and then grabbing onto a gutter. And you find yourself on the roof of the Four Swans. And you're actually not far from the Black Castle itself. You realize that taller building that had the poster of Bane looking down on you, that is the Black Castle. You realize if you walk along the roof and then turn the corner on the other side of the gallery, go to the back corner of the building, you might be able to see the alleyway behind the castle itself. If you want to walk over that far, you have to keep your balance for a good ways. But do you want to see if there's anything you can see from back there?
Yeah, it sounds like a great opportunity to reconnoiter and maybe gather some intelligence here on the castle. So I'll dexterity to walk out there.
Sounds wonderful. Yeah, make a dexterity roll.
Roll to 5.
That's great. And it's like that's wonderful. So like the roof beam is like a balance beam almost, and you're walking along it and you turn left very nimbly and walk down to that. And at this point there's an alley. And on the other side of that is the big multi-story black basalt wall, that surrounds the whole city. And when you look off to your right, across a rather broad boulevard, is where the castle itself is. The castle is not so much a fortress anymore. It once was, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but it's kind of outdated, in terms of military defensiveness. It's more of an administrative center now, but it's still imposing looking, with great Gothic spires and architecture. But you can now see around the back of the Black Castle, and there's a narrow space in between the service entrances to the castle and the huge wall of Col Sador itself. And at the base of the smokestack that Grover Hotwater was talking about is there. And you can see there are 2 Black Sun guards standing in that alley with a Gax lantern, talking to each other quietly. But if you could somehow get past them, then getting to the smokestack you've got to climb should be no problem. But you will certainly not be surprised by them now that you've seen them. I don't know if there's anything you could do about them from here or not, Marm.
Yeah, well, I think with the boomerang, he might be able to knock one of them out maybe or something. So he's going to try with hitting one of them with the boomerang if it's within range.
Yeah, go ahead. They certainly are within range. You just want to hit one of them? Okay. And so you bid a -7 bonus to pull this off.
Yeah, he's going to bounce it off both their heads. There's no reason not to hit both of them there. So
okay, then you'll be at a -4 bonus to pull this off.
All right. And with the -4 bonus, I'll get a 10 on a 17, so that'll succeed.
Okay, absolutely. And the boomerang sails off into the darkness and curves down the alley and boom, boom, hits both of them in the head. Go ahead and roll the damage. That'll be 5d6 damage to each of them. Could be enough to put them down.
20 damage to one. 25 to the other one.
He falls to the ground. They both look at each other surprised for just a second. And one goes, "Did you?" And then boom, they fall down. Not just unconscious, but the top half of their bullet-like helmet has been shorn off. And their brains are now leaking onto the street. I guess it's like that, a boomerang like that little kid in the Road Warrior has, razor edges, I guess, But Yeah, you've actually dispatched the guards in the back of the building. Now your only hope is to get your friends the hell out of the bathroom and over there before someone walks down the alley and finds 2 dead and bleeding guards on the inside. But let's rewind for about 3 minutes to 4 minutes to 5 minutes. And Farin, you're waiting in line to get into the ladies' room, and you get in. And then just as you're about to follow her in, Corso, the other ladies in line all raise a protest. Hey, wait a minute. What do you think you're doing? You think
I just I'm going to cast confusion.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what their reaction is like now, shall we? I would love to tell you that there's an enthusiastic, overwhelming response of friendliness and warmth, but I'm afraid that the crowd has now turned hostile. I don't care. You're not getting in there. You're a girl. What are you, a pervert? You don't get to use the ladies' bathroom. They're not even afraid of you. They're like walking up towards you, getting in your face, shoving you. Huh? What are you going to do? You gonna
ladies, you're confused, ladies.
You ain't talking your way out of this one. Huh? We're going to call the authorities on you. Yeah, we're going to tell them there's some kind of a pervert down here. Say, he looks familiar to me. Does he look familiar to you? I don't know. I think I read some kind of cheap book once with a picture of a fella that looked like him in it. Only that fella was a little skinnier. Yeah, that fella was a little handsomer. I bet this one can't even get it up. You can tell from looking at him, he can't even get it up.
I can still get it up.
That's why he's trying to get it. He can't get it up unless he's in a girlie's bathroom, sneaking a little peek because he's a pervert. Why don't you prove you can get it up, huh? You're such a man. Let's see you get it up. Let's see you get it up, big man.
I'm already up. But he's got this overlarge cod piece as part of his armor.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Look at this thing.
Okay.
Massive.
Yeah, the crowd is hostile. They're angry. It's getting nasty. The 6 women you're talking to jump on you with their fingernails bared.
Oh, God.
Do you please go ahead and make a defense roll of your choice? You may wrestle them with a strength roll, or you may dodge and weave and get the hell out of there with a dexterity roll.
He's trying to scramble away, just run as fast as he can. Oh, I rolled the wrong thing. Hold on. Oh, I rolled a 2.
All right. Yeah, that's right. Run, you limp dick jerk. Yeah, you showed him. And so, you're a Marm from your perch. You see Corso bolt out the door and run into the street. And meanwhile, Farin, you've got your
for your life.
And of course, you could hear this, and we're not surprised by it while you were calmly putting your makeup on.
Yeah, I don't imagine. I mean, yeah, I'm sure Farin would have expected that.
Yeah.
But, well, once she gets the makeup on, she'll run after Corso.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Hello, Gonen's World. It's Nicholas Corso. Have you tried my butter yet? My butter's better than other butters. Corso's Yum Butter tastes like creamy candy and spreads easier than a pair of South Highseat legs on prom night. Unlike some other butters, Corso's Yum Butter isn't made from nasty flying milk, only the healthy milk of big fat buffaloes with big fat titties, churned on the beautiful Isle of Khufu. Man, I love those churners. And Corso's Yum Butter isn't just for eating. It's also an excellent lubricant. Whether you need to grease up some cookware or slide into a tight hole, nothing is more slippery than when it's smothered in my butter. So what are you waiting for? It's time to butter up with Corso's Yum Butter.
Are you lost? Alone? Afraid? Addicted? Are you just bored? Is life a perpetual series of disappointments? Do you ask questions only to learn that the answers are more questions? My friends, I'm Brother Von Drever, and I'm here to tell you the Church of Darius has the answers you're looking for. For tens of years, Darius has provided wisdom and guidance through a very special book, the Aphorisms of Darius. To some, it might seem like a list of D100 random non-sequitur statements, but I'm here to tell you that everything you'll ever need to know is in that book. But don't take my word for it. I'd like to send you a free copy of the Aphorisms of Darius so you can try it for yourself. Write to 555 Skyway Boulevard, Highseat. If you like it, subscribe to the church for more spiritual guidance. We look forward to hearing from you, and remember, it's all good.
Okay, well, Corso, you guys are out in the main street now, next to the doors of all the other taverns in the street. You don't know what the hell has happened to Marm. You lost track of him over the last few minutes.
Damn. Do we have like a whistle or something we can blow for that thing?
Now, of course, Marm, you know where they are, and I'll let you rejoin them at your convenience. But
Corso, you must stop making a habit of getting kicked out of establishments for attempting to get into the ladies' restroom.
Well, in my earlier days, there would have been no protest whatsoever. I would have been welcomed with open arms and open legs.
Do you remember that I knew you in the old days?
Well, you don't know everything. That's what I was to say.
Yeah, I believe you guys
know everything.
I believe you guys met in prison and started off in Rockwell trying to get out of jail.
That's
right. Yes. But anyway, Marm, you look like your mouth was open, like you were about to emit a flood of words.
Marm was gonna drop down from the gutter right into the midst of Farin and Corso there and say, "Hey, I've got something to show you guys, quick." No, it's not that.
What did you get off to?
It's an alley back here.
Right.
I want to show you something
Is
in the
it
alley.
Far? Well, that's a line that I used to say, but
What is it? What is it, wee one?
I killed a couple people.
Do you want to follow him and see this? Oh well, wonderful.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we can get into the castle. I don't know. I can get into the castle, I'm pretty sure, but the bodies there, we might need to move the bodies, but they're kind of heavy, so I thought maybe you could help us move the bodies, but maybe one of you can get one of the bodies and the other can get the other one of the bodies, then I can get into the castle and let you guys into the castle if you need into the castle that way. So will you help me?
Yeah. Were you seen at all?
Well, of course not.
All right.
Does seem to be a rather sneaky little one, doesn't he?
Very sneaky.
He has his uses.
I don't suppose you could, you've got another one of those fancy dimension doors you could, deposit the bodies in.
Nah, I'm out.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
but I could wave my wand until I get something like that. You never know.
But the odds of that attracting unwanted attention, however.
Yeah, and I applaud your self-restraint because that crowd of women in the bar, I was doing my best to provoke you into waving that wand, and you didn't fall. You didn't fall for it. So, yeah. Well, do you guys want to go see the dead bodies in the alley? Hey, you guys want to see a body?
I want to touch it and poke it.
Oh.
Ew.
Yeah. I was dared.
All right, you guys go down the boulevard, and again in the back of the Black Castle. Again, you can see the service entrances and a couple of docks. And to one side is just a flat black wall, that stretches up many stories. On the other side is the castle itself. And at the base, there's a bulge at the bottom, which is the base of this huge smokestack that towers up even above the level of the city wall itself. But the whole thing is ribbed. It's ribbed for your climbing pleasure. It's quite easy to climb because of the ribbing in the pillar. It would only take time. You don't even have to roll to climb it if you're willing to take about a quarter of an hour carefully, quietly climbing. If you want to rush it, go ahead and let me know, and we'll do it another way.
Well, first of all, is there any place we can at least drag these bodies to hide them?
Well, there is a rubbish bin back here. They look like they might fit in there.
Now, I forgot to ask, does Marm, we did talk about this before we played a little bit, then we didn't I wasn't for sure, but does Marm have any certain items on his person?
No, I forgot to give him a bag of holding, unfortunately, but that's okay. Yeah.
Well, I used to have a bag of holding, and I got it mixed up with a bag of devouring, and it was just a mess. So,
wow, I bet that thing would make a terrible hat.
Yeah, pretty bad.
So just because I think I remember this, but I can't remember for sure. Didn't we have like a bag of devouring rigged up under as a toilet?
Using it as a toilet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
It was on the
apparatus of Orijiabi. Yep.
Okay. I thought so.
In fact, you guys do have it, but it's on. You have to unfold the ship right now and get it. You've been using it for the toilet. That's where you put it. All right. But yeah, it's this alley's no place to unfold the apparatus.
And I was actually going into the bag of holding. I was using that as a toilet by mistake, and then when I reached in, I got it mixed up again, and I reached in and to pull out some kind of weapon and some food, and what happened there.
Well, I hope you washed your hands afterwards.
Well, yeah, I did. I don't have to be told to wipe wash my hands when that happens.
Well, do you guys? I'm assuming you're going to have this conversation while you're hoisting the bodies of the guards into the rubbish bin. And so, do you want to take a nice easy climb, or do you want to take a fast, risky climb?
Farin's polymorph ability says she can do it once per day, and I think she did it yesterday. So
yes, she did. Would you like to just fly to the top, Farin?
Yep.
Well, Farin flitters into a bird right before your eyes and easily spins around the tower, flying upward, and the rest of you can climb. Do you wish to climb riskily and fast, or slow and steady?
I guess it's got to go slow and steady for me.
Well, go ahead and make a dexterity roll, Marm, as you scamper up, but you may do this with advantage, because it's something that thieves do a lot.
Marm rolls a 1.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he somehow, Farin, he gets up there like almost as you barely beat him up there. He just, and Corso, you're talking to him 1 second, and then there's like some smoke, and he's gone. You look up above you, and he's
what?
So you can go slow and steady. So you guys sit at the. Go ahead.
Each I just pictured him each step higher that he gets, he rests and catches his breath.
Yeah, in fact, it's not even the 15 minutes, not even the quarter hour. It's like a 20 minutes. Marm, you're sitting up there dangling your legs over the edge of the smokestack, and Farin's flying around waiting, and Corso, finally out of breath, huffing and puffing, reaches the top of the smokestack. Luckily, it's big around enough that no one's going to have to squeeze in, too tight, because you're. But finally, you're together, and no one seems to have seen you guys climb up. It's night. The moons are out. From this distance, though, you can actually see the ocean from here, and see the salty shallows, and see out beyond the city walls. It's a great perch looking out at the whole city with all those portraits of the handsome, smug Bane looking back at you from his many, many huge posters. But anyway... at the top, though, there is a surprise that you were not expecting, and that is there is a grate over the top of the smokestack. And Grover Hotwater hadn't mentioned that.
Great.
It actually has had, no... It doesn't look like it's taken any weather damage or smoke damage. It's all shiny and brand new. The rivets around it look like they've just been freshly put in. And you think maybe... one of you could rip it off if you could make a strength roll with a +2 penalty. You might be able to pop off enough of the edge that you could squeeze into it.
They must have installed that while we were waiting on Corso.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Well, I assume in bird form, Farin could probably just dive through.
Well, that's true. That's absolutely true. But it's not going to help these other two. So
Right,
Farin,
but
you
I
can
think-
dive through.
I think to just get a surreptitious view of what the lay of the land before less or more conspicuous people come dropping down.
Start dropping down. Well, you fly down through the grate, and inside, it looks like that people will be able to climb down pretty easily because there's actually metal rings that for maintenance purposes and cleaning purposes, so they can get cleaning crews up here. And those are old. They are smoke stained. They are nasty. And you fly down to the bottom of it, and there is a square room in there with a huge iron door. It looks like it's all been freshly swept up, but the floor is all stained with ashes. And that was probably the room where they burnt all the safe trash. And you can zip back up and report all this to your friends on the other side of the grate. Well, you can't report it because you're like, tweet, 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 tweet,
Right,
tweet,
I'll just
because
wait
you're a
for
bird.
it to get- But knowing that there's nobody, there doesn't seem to be anybody in this room, so
Right.
they're safe to come down. So
Except for the invisible assassins that you couldn't see. Those guys were there. But no, you didn't see anybody else.
But
So,
yeah, I didn't know that they were there because they were invisible, unfortunately.
yeah. And there are no invisible assassins.
I assume.
I'll just tell you. Spoiler alert, there's no invisible assassins in this entire castle. So, Corso, I'm not sure if you're stronger or Marm, are you stronger, but one of you guys is going to have to pop open this grate to get through. And it's a strength roll with a +2
No.
penalty.
Stay back, little man. I don't want you to hurt your back or anything. I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm a full-sized grown man, so I'm going to yank this grate right off with my great strength. Just 15. Oh, I rolled a 1. I almost feel like that's out of character.
It is almost that guy, but bam, that whole thing comes up. Ring! In fact, you were just trying to pull up one little edge, right? So you got to get through. They pull the whole thing off with such force, and you realize, though, to your horror, there's nowhere to fucking lay it down. You're going to have to, drop it over the edge or balance it or something. What are you going to do with it?
Well, if I can narratively just say, just because I feel bad that he was so awesome in that instance when really I don't think he would have been. I'm just going to say he awkwardly holds on to it, not knowing what to do, and then suddenly his strength gives out, and he's just I don't want it to hurt him, but I want it to kind of hilariously trap him for a little bit on the ground. So he's just it's on top of him.
Yeah, you fall down on the ledge of it. On the ledge of the smokestack, you fall down. It pins you against the top of it, and then it falls down. It's kind of at an angle now, going down the smokestack, and it slides down and scrapes the buttons off your leather jacket. Pop, 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 and your belly spills out, and then it just wedges itself in the middle of the tower, but at an angle, so you can climb around it still. And
all right,
so
see, that's how it's done.
Well, like I say, there's an iron ring, so the climb down is pretty easy, and eventually you guys get.
I would like to. Corso is going to unravel some sticks of butter that he brought from Highseat. He's going to start lathering himself up with butter, and then take a little bite of. Anyone want some butter? All right,
Yeah, I'll try some.
I'm ready when you guys are ready. Yeah, it's pretty good. I've gotten accustomed to it.
Corso brand yum butter.
That's right. That reminded me. I'd like to thank them for their sponsorship of tonight's episode. That was
Yeah,
a
they
good
are
one.
sponsoring.
They are. So anyway, you guys eventually covered with butter. At least one of you. Another one with butter around his lips. You're in this square room.
Well,
Yeah.
They do call him Butter Lips. He talks a whole lot.
Well, you're in that big square room with the ashy floor, that's been swept up, and there's that big iron door that's locked, and I don't know if Farin is back into regular form or bird form still or what, but
She's going to hang out in bird form until she needs to
I
fight.
assume you'll tell me. And someone, of course, is going to have to pick the lock on this big locked iron door. That's the only way out of
I
here.
think there's just one person.
Luckily, there's no safe trash in here. I think there's only
my
one.
My fingers are too fat anymore to lockpick, so
There's
little
one
guy,
little-
it's up to you.
One little person who can do that job, and his nimble expertise will give him an advantage.
With advantage, we roll a 3.
Well, that's great. And the door click opens. And inside, and Farin is a little exhausting to flutter around all the time and actually makes noise, so I like the idea, if you don't mind, narrative touch of you, like, riding on Corso's shoulder, perched for the moment and flying when you have to. Otherwise, your arms get pretty tired. Not a lot of place to soar down here. There's a short hallway in front of you. It's not real long. It's checkered, and beyond that, there's an open doorway that leads to stairs going up. What do you guys want to do?
I don't know. I hate stairs. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and the stairs are at the end of the hallway with the checkered black and red pattern on the floor. And of course, just let me know where you guys want to go. You want to go up the stairs, or what do you want to do?
Is there anywhere else to go?
No, just at the end of that hallway, stairs that go up.
Hold on a second.
Fly up the stairs.
This checkered floor has me a little worried. I've seen a trap like this before that wasn't exactly checkered, but there was like squares on the floor, and if you stepped on the right square, or you stepped on the wrong square, really, stuff happened. It was usually bad stuff, and I don't want any bad stuff to happen to us, so we might want to check out the floor and see.
Well, certainly no problem for Farin. He can fly down and wait for you at the end of the hall. And Farin, you can see there's stairs going up here, and there's a T-junction at the top of the stairs. And there's doors in both directions up there, but the hall itself is empty at the top of the stairs.
In that
That's
case,
what you can see.
she'll just wait at the top of the stairs for them.
Okay.
Watching with bemusement as they probably set off some traps or some shit.
Yeah, Marm.
Why don't you test it out, Marm?
Yes, I would very much like to check out for traps here and see if there's anything dangerous in here. And I roll a 3.
Well, that's pretty good. And you realize, you are checking around, and you realize you're about to touch the squares and poke and prod at them, but you got a bad feeling about the black squares. You just got a real bad feeling about them. They don't seem like, and it's that the light doesn't catch them right. It's like they're made of a different substance. It almost looks tarry, like it's smooth, but you're afraid you'll stick to the black squares. So you probably just want to go on the red squares on the way across.
All right, well, let's just go on the red ones. You ready, Corso? I think we have to run as fast as we can.
Let me watch you first.
Okay, here we go. Watch.
I mean, if you could do it, and I can just watch you, and then I'll know better, what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, just don't let any fat rolls go over the edge of the square.
Hey,
are you really going to run across as fast as you can, Marm?
Yes.
Okay, well, normally you got such little feet that if you went across carefully, no roll would be required. But as usual, you got a bad idea, and as usual, I like it. So please make a dexterity test as you charge off across the floor to not accidentally step on a black square.
I rolled a 3.
Okay, that's good. And so you reach the base of the stairs, and you look up, and you see little birdie Farin waiting there for you, hopping around on the top stair, and or wherever she is, perched in a torch bracket. There's no torches in here; it's lit by Gaxlight. Of course. So you got bigger feet, though, and even if you are careful, you still have to make a dexterity test as you go across.
I could have sworn I waved this one years ago, and there was some type of flying ability.
Why don't you wave it? Why don't you wave it and see what happens?
Yeah. Oh, I'll get it eventually, I'm sure.
Are you actually going to wave the one?
Yeah, I'm going to roll
good
D4 first.
I love a
And
bad
I rolled
idea.
a 4.
Okay, it's gonna go off. So let's roll percentiles.
See, you're not the only one that can turn into a bird.
Watch this.
It's got to be
Watch
a
this, 20.
stuck to the floor.
Well, actually, a huge gust of wind shoots out of the edge of the wand and rushes down the hallway and picks up Marm and Farin and blows them out into the hallway ahead. Now, there's a T-junction at the top of the hall. You're either going to go right or left. It's random. So Farin and Marm, just roll a D6, even odd, or do even odd however you want. Odd, you're going to get blown up and hurled to the right. Even, you're going to get blown up and hurled to the left.
Left.
In the gust of wind.
Even, I can't remember which one that was.
Left. And so both of you blow up and bang on a door at the end of the hallway to the left, at the top of the stairs, and land. And you hear this voice from the other side of the door. It says, "All right, I'll be out in a minute." And meanwhile, Corso, you still haven't gotten across the hallway, but the gust of wind was pretty loud, but it's gone now. And then meanwhile, you guys outside the door, you can
pointed that at myself and then waved it, and I would have been blown across.
Or turned backwards. Yeah.
It's not that easy
What
to blow
happens
yourself.
if I try that again? Oh, but of course, was definitely
maybe not for you. Yeah. Are you rolling again? Don't forget that D4 if you're rolling the wand again. Meanwhile, those of you outside the door on the left at the top of the stairs can hear somebody in there. Here's some pages turning as if in a book. You get the very strong impression that is a privy closet. Meanwhile, Corso, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't roll a 1. And I rolled a 17.
Well, you'll be happy to know that you just got another gust of wind. And Marm, you're lifted up and smashed against the door. Boom, again. And I said I'll be out in a minute. Great Gonen's grundle. Give a minute of privacy, says a voice on the other side of the door.
Sorry, it's just a lot of wind out here.
Well, there's a lot of wind in here, so give me my privacy.
Well, surely if I rolled 2 wind spells in a row, it'll surely happen again on the third time. And this time I know I will point it at myself and wave.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Point it at yourself. Go ahead. And wave it.
Wait, let me roll. Now, I hope I roll 1 this time, because I don't really want to.
It's 16 to 20 is gust of wind. I'll just tell you.
I didn't roll 1. Okay. 29.
Well, you know it has gust of wind, but you point it right at your face, right? Or your chest or wherever. And boosh, gushing out of the end of the wand, covering you, filling the hallway, going up the stairs and out into the T-junction of the hallway is a stinking cloud. All of you make Constitution rolls, please. Otherwise, you're completely incapacitated by the stinking cloud. So both Marm and Farin, and the stinking cloud's going in under the door of the privy. And oh man, you did need to get in here, didn't you? Oh. So
I rolled on my Constitution, so I pass out.
Yeah, you're incapacitated. In fact, you're at the edge of the hallway, right? And you fall, and you're pointing towards the hallway. You're gonna fall down. You're gonna hit like 2 or 3 black squares. You're like stuck to the black squares and gagging. You're not unconscious or anything. You're just completely incapacitated. Like tears running down your face. You can't even get a full breath. Meanwhile, Farin, did you pass your Constitution?
Yes, with an 8.
That's good. You are able to flutter up, and there's like a little space, gets to the ceiling that's not as bad, and you hover up there. Marm, how about you?
Succeeded with a 6.
Nice. So, Marm, it's still terrible, but you can function. You know, you're not completely incapacitated by it. And, you know, somebody's going to have to air out this room. But, yeah, you guys are going to have to go down and help Corso here. You guys are going to have to open a window, something. I don't know what you can do.
Well, if you take my wand and roll a 20 or whatever, you can get another gust of wind and blow out the gas. But nobody touches my wand.
Yeah, I don't know what to do in this situation. You guys need to disperse this cloud somehow. Hopefully, is there a window in the bathroom maybe? I don't know, but, you know, it's occupied. There's also that other door on the other side of the hallway. You know, the hallway at the top of the stairs is a T-junction. So there was a door to the right. You guys got blown to the left. You could always try to open that door to the right and see if that'll get some of the air out or disperse the cloud. I don't know.
Marm will go check out the door to the right.
Okay. Marm, will you get over there? I'm sorry, Farin, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say that she's going to not be a bird anymore and try to go down and pull Corso up off the floor.
That's a good idea. And so, yeah, changing back into her female form, you go back down the stairs, and Farin, go ahead and make your dexterity roll because you got big people feet to get across the hallway without accidentally stepping on a black.
Does this sticky stuff, does my being coated in butter, does it make it worse or does it make it better?
I think it makes it a lot worse because that's a lot funnier, and I know how you're going to be able to get out of this. But Farin, I'm sure, probably makes it across because she's got a pretty good dexterity.
Yep, with an 8.
Okay, well, you're standing above him now, and you know, Corso, you could see that he's absolutely incapacitated, Farin. He's gagging. He's trying to pick himself up off, and you realize real quick, Farin, looking down at the way his armor is just fused to and it's kind of like an armored suit, you know what I mean? He's not wearing much under it, and it's just fusing to the black squares. There's only one way that Corso is going to be able to leave here, and that's you're going to have to undo the front of his armor and slit down the pants and everything. He's going to have to, you know, I hope that you're not going commando, Corso, because,
well,
you know
he is.
Well, you realize, Farin, to your horror, that the only way Corso is he's got to leave the armor, and you're going to have to cut him out. And
I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Meanwhile, Marm, that door on the right wall at the top of the stairs, it is not locked. And you're going to open it? You can tell from pulling it's not locked. Why am I asking? Of course you're probably going to open it. Well, it's a big room, and when you open it, the cloud rushes in there, and there's some open windows high up on the ceilings, like tilted open to let air in, you know, for ventilation. And the stinking cloud disperses enough that Corso, you're able to stand up naked, basically. And luckily, you know, your sword landed on top of you, and the wand was in your pocket, so you can get all that stuff. It's not stuck, but you had to leave your armor behind, and you're in the nude.
I can't believe after all these years you've not learned not to wave the fucking wand at yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the wand usually solves any problem that I have, so I don't know what happened.
But, yeah.
Now I just wanted to let you know that it's very cold in here.
Well, it's funny because when designing this trap, I thought it would be funny if someone had to leave their boots, you know, and go barefoot. I did not necessarily anticipate full frontal Corso, but we have it, and it seems so appropriate. And so Corso with the sword in one hand and the wand in the other. Go ahead
and
a dangle.
Now, do these?
You're still not across the hallway.
Do these spells that I have, are they like actual scrolls? Or
No, they just know them. You just know them in your mind.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to shove some scrolls up my ass or something. To
No. Funny that your mind went there, but no, you don't need to do that.
Actually, those are made out of paper.
Do you want to cast any of them at the moment? Yeah, that would not be pleasant. So, you know what?
Well, so I don't have any armor now. I just have this ring of protection, though.
Yeah, you still got the ring of protection. And I guess you could argue, since you fell down on your back, that it's possible.
Good, that cod piece.
The cod piece is still salvageable.
No, it shouldn't be.
But no, because the back of it, I guess, Yeah, and you already said it was cold.
He tries pulling it up as hard as he can, but it's stuck. Come on.
You had to cut the straps off. You can just kind of hold it there.
Yeah, hold it like a little coconut half. Well, now Farin, if you guys want to get back to where Marm is, you both need to make dexterity rolls. Farin has already scampered over here once, so I'm going to give her a -2 bonus to the roll. Corso, go ahead and make a dexterity roll. Or do you want to try the wand again to get yourself down the hallway?
I'm not going to allow him to do that. I'm just...
That's good, because I felt irresponsible even asking if you wanted to. Okay.
Yeah, all right, here goes nothing. 8. That makes it.
Okay, you guys, so you're both at the other end of the hallway now. You go up the hallway. Marm, you look over, and Corso's naked. And,
wow. You see him, like, skipping from square to square. And
is it cold in here or something?
It's freezing, let me tell you.
Well, the door beyond Marm said it was a large room with some ventilation windows up high. It's lit with dim blue Gax lamps, and you can all see now that there are many tall, monkish style desks here, and huge diagrams on the walls with logarithmic tables, and there's another door at the end of the room, and there's a door on the right wall, and no one seems to be here at all.
You see there's a door on the right wall, and what else?
A door at the other end of the room, opposite end of the room from you, and then a door to your right. And other than that, just the big monkish-style desks, like tall lectern-style Bob Cratchit desks, and huge diagrams on the walls and logarithmic tables and other math-like
this must be the math room. And this is where that dude had his briefcase.
Yes, that's what I was thinking as well. I think we perhaps should check the desks.
Well, if you guys would like to search through the desk real quick and get lucky and find it in just a few seconds, why don't each of you go ahead and make an intelligence test?
I succeed.
Rolled a 1.
Yes.
Well, all of you succeeding are absolutely confident there's no attaché case in this math room. He said there was, but you don't see one anywhere. Now, of course, there is that little door to the right on the right wall, and there's and that seems like not an exit so much as an ante-room of some kind. The exit on the wall across the room from you on the opposite side seems like more of an exit.
What if somebody found it and took it and someone used the embarrassing stuff to go embarrass people? I don't know.
Wasn't there a guy in a bathroom?
Yeah, there was.
Yes, back out at the other end of the T-junction back there.
That's right.
So, wonder if that was Lord Bane, Do you want to go back down there? I know what he was doing in there.
Do you want to go back down there and check it out?
Yeah, and I'm going to take a massive shit while I'm...
Well, you go down there and the door's locked. Meanwhile, your friends are in the math room. We'll get back to your math room friends in a minute, but do you want to try to shoulder the door open?
All right, buddy, you've been in there long enough. Time to come out.
There's no answer.
I had a friend once who died on the toilet. I'm not going to let that happen to me. That's why I only eat one stick of butter a day.
Well,
All right, so...
Do you want to shoulder the door open?
Well, can we pick the lock? Is it
yeah, you could try to pick
lock?
the lock. Go for it. Well, if Marm wants to come back here and pick it, you could try. You used to do something like that every now and then. You could borrow Marm's thieves' tools if he lets you.
My hands are all buttery.
Okay.
I'm going to wipe them. I don't have anything to wipe my hands on. Yeah, let's... I'm not feeling... I don't feel like I want to shoulder the door without wearing any armor. Farin, you want to try to kick down the door or something?
Well, I suppose I can come out there and kick it.
I didn't know. Is she with me?
She's in the math room. Your friends are still in the math room, but I mean, she's just at the end of a hallway. You're still within speaking distance. She can stalk down there and kick it. Yeah, she'll even get a -1 bonus from the walk. Momentum.
I don't want a woman to do it. I'll do it. I don't need a woman.
Okay.
You're
gonna heave your bulk against the door?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna give you a -1 bonus because you're fat.
Yeah, you got a lot of bulk.
Yeah. You get a fat bonus.
Okay, so strength.
Yep.
Okay. Nope.
No. Boom.
I got a 17.
Would you like to go pick the lock for him, wee one?
Ow!
Yes, I can go pick the lock, I guess. I don't want him to hurt himself like that. But as soon as I get back, I'll finish telling you about the Marm Goodwill sauce. It's good. I'll be right back.
All right. So, yeah, go ahead and, with finesse, with your nimble expertise, go ahead and pick that lock, Marm.
And Marm's going to roll a 4.
Well, that door clicks right open, and you look in. There's nobody on that bathroom stall, but the toilet paper, and they do things right here. It's not, note to self, let Lord Unctious know at Castle Black they're not using, of course, that's only in your prisons, are they using Highseat Observer for toilet paper. But no, here they have proper toilet paper, and it's blowing in the breeze, and the window, which is shuttered, the shutter's been pushed open, and it looks like whoever was in here climbed out the window. You look outside, and you don't, you look. It's like a 3-story look down, and you don't see him down there anywhere. He's not on either side. You turn your head left, turn to the right. He might have gotten away and warned some people. He might have be going to report on you guys. You don't know, but you might not have much time. You want to climb down in there and make sure, Marm?
I just wanted to look real good and make sure he didn't fall in.
Okay. Yeah, well, you stick your head in through the garderobe hole and you would almost gag, except that the stinking cloud was so much worse that it actually smells nice sticking your head down there. But no, it's basically a 3-foot drop into what essentially is a porta potty. It gets emptied into the sea every now and then, and he's not down there, but he's probably climbed out the window, run around trying to get back in the building and raise the alarm, but he obviously hasn't done it yet. There's no audible alarm you can hear anyway.
All right, so you were talking about some sausage or something, and just go ahead and tell that story. I'm going to sit down here for a minute. He's going to sit on the toilet and
right in front of them while you're talking to him.
Yeah, he has no shame, and he wants to hear Marm's sausage story.
Well, it's actually about sauce, you see. My family made a sauce, and it's made out of all these different spices from all over the place, and we get these different spices.
And then Marm is interrupted. Marm is interrupted by this terrible, loud bell. Bang, 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 bang. It's going off. It's you can hear it echoing throughout the whole Black Castle. Obviously, the secret shitter got away, and unless there was a second shitter, but he's gotten away, and he has apparently raised the alarm, so they know you're in the building. And if you would like to go ahead and continue with your shit, I will let you go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I would I like some DM privacy right now. I'm trying to take
Okay, well, not so interested in the story anymore, but Anyway, you squeeze it out pretty quick, and you can hear some shouts off in the distance, deeper in the castle. But you guys remember, you were told that deep here in the center is not real heavily guarded. They had a lot of guards around the perimeter, and it's a big castle. They're gonna have to get in, and it could be that you got 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10, who knows? But the only way out, that you can think of is on the other side of the math room.
No, I was just imagining what this guy, the secret shitter, what he must have. What did he tell people? Right? He ran up to some other guards and was like, "Hey, I was taking a dump in the bathroom, and all of a sudden there was this stinking cloud. No, not from me."
Yeah, right. No, not from me. It wasn't me. No, and of course he can overhear everything you guys were saying to each other. I mean, he's got a fairly good idea that you're not supposed to be in there, but who knows what he said to him? But anyway, and you think, I don't know how long you have, Colin. It could be 5 minutes, could be 7, could be 10. I don't know.
5 minute shit is pretty quick for me. So I'll try to be fast.
Well, while he's doing that, you guys in the math room, you didn't find the attaché case. There was the exit at the end of the room, the opposite end from where you entered. And then there's also that little room that might have been an anteroom off to the right. Do either of you want to poke your head in there while Corso is finishing his business?
Yes, I was going to go to the right first.
All right.
Marm will go with them.
Okay. All right. Well, Farin and Marm, you go up to the door on the right wall, and you open it up, and it's not locked. And inside there's an automated tea machine in there. It's like a little clockwork butler who makes tea in his chest. And there's a window that looks straight onto a lovely view of the city wall. So you're on the back side of the building. And there's a table in here and chairs. It looks like a break room, and there's an attaché case sitting on the floor next to one of the chairs. But the tea machine sprouts those little spindly legs from under its box-like body, and it stands up. And it says, "Math room staff only. What is the password?"
Of course, the password is "eat shit."
That is not the password. And then it sprays you with hot tea out of its orifice in its chest at both of you. Scalding stream comes flying in your direction. Marm and Farin, make a dexterity save or otherwise be scalded with hot tea.
Success with a 9.
Okay, and you've dodged your way back out of the room, right? And you look in there and you can see the attaché case, but really to go in there without the password, you risk getting sprayed with hot tea.
Marm would like to attempt to retrieve the attaché case with his hook shot.
That is a very good idea. Why don't you make a ranged attack roll?
And a 6 will succeed.
Well, you pull the hook goes right into the side of the attaché case, and you pull it out of the room. And just then, meanwhile, Corso, you're wiping, and the attaché case is there, and it's of course, closed and clasped securely. And you were told not to look into it because it'd be very embarrassing.
Well, of course we're going to.
I'm going to look.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys are on either side of the door, and I assume you can just close the door to the room so the tea butler doesn't strike again. And yeah, you open and there's papers inside. They're actually drawings. They're fairly good drawings. And one of them has a title at the top of it. It says, "If You Weren't My Lord." And there are pictures of Brendan Bane that this guy has drawn, and he's drawn himself and Brendan Bane in a great many sexual positions, and this guy's obviously got some huge crush on Brendan Bane, and he's written romantic poems about Brendan Bane. It's how you learn that Lord Bane's name is Brendan. "My dearest Brendan, you mean the world to me. Please do not send me away from your presence." And so on and so forth. It's highly, highly embarrassing, but not to any sweet lady friend, just to Grover Hotwater. And if these ever do get out, he would be publicly humiliated.
Yeah, I mean, Gonen's world isn't particularly enlightened.
certainly not Blackpool, But that's what you see inside the case. Meanwhile, Corso comes striding up naked, and catch up to them, and you can see that they're looking at these dirty pictures of Brendan Bane. Again, they're not photos. They're not drawn from life. It's just the fevered imagination of Grover Hotwater, who must have sat at one of these tall desks, knowing he's going to be replaced with a so-called, machine brain.
No way that's accurate, that that cock on him. No way.
It could be that Grover Hotwater was practicing some wishful thinking in his sketching.
Yes, well.
Yeah.
I trust you are finished, Corso?
I think I'm finished. Yeah. I brought some of that toilet paper with me, and Marm, or somebody who has stuff to carry with. You could take some of this.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yes, I'll just shove that in my in my top.
There you go.
Whoa, hey.
Pat it up a little bit. Yeah. All right. Well, there's the other one way out of the math room, on the opposite side of the room, and I'll assume you take it. Meanwhile, the alarm's been going off all this time. And the minute you go through that door, you can see there's a rather large room on the other side as well. And it is a really strange room. You have to take all this in really quickly because things start happening almost immediately. But there's kind of a gross animalistic smell that comes out, and there's a large room with concrete furniture, and there's tire swings all in the room, and there are 12 pods along the wall. They're smaller than a man, but they're bigger than a wee moldy, and they're made of blue glass, but they're kind of smoky and opaque. There's a door in the opposite wall beyond that, and there's a window on the second story of this room. It's got a tall enough ceiling that you can look up, and there's a window from a room that looks down in here like an observation, but that glass is all opaque. You can't see through it. And what happens just as you walk in the door is that these pods are opening. They're in the process of opening as you look in, and baboons are jumping out of the pods, 12 of them, but the tops of their heads have been removed, and they have clockwork gears and a little transparent dome instead of a cranium, and their arms and legs are made of this articulated black metal. And unlike normal baboons, these ones have really long monkey-like tails, but as they jump out, they're grabbing their tails and turning them forward towards you and aiming them like guns. However, you guys may act first, and 12 of them are in your way, and they're clearly going to hurt you. And Marm, what do you do?
Yeah, Marm's going to throw his boomerang. And
it looked like, in fact, 4 of them looked like they were aiming their tails at you, Marm. So I guess you want to try to aim your boomerang at all 4 of them?
All 4 of them, yeah.
Or some smaller number. Well, I think that's a great idea. Now, you're only altogether, it's going to be a -1 bonus.
All right.
To attack them with your boomerang.
I will hit them with a 3.
Oh, that is very nice. Let's go ahead and have that damage. That's going to be, well, let's see here. It's hard to divide 10 evenly, but I'll let you decide how you want to do it. There's 4 of them, and you have 10 d6 of damage.
All right, one of them is hit for 18. One of them is hit for 10.
Oh, my. Yes.
One of them is hit for 6, and one of them is hit for 4.
Well, one of them goes down with a great howl and skitters across the room. That the clockwork, top of its cranium, that transparent dome is broken, and the clockwork scatters all around the room, and it falls and twitches on the ground. And a bunch of gaxium oozes out of its tail. And the other 3, though, are still up, but they've taken damage. And meanwhile, Farin, what are you doing?
Well, I'm assuming that 4 of them are... Oh, no. Well, Farin was going to attempt to Borple's forward at a group of 4 of them, but she rolls a natural 20.
Oh no, natural 20 and Farin, you fling your vorpal sword across the room. But you know what? I say there's about a 5% chance or a 1 in 20 chance that you'll actually hit the glass wall of that observation booth that I talked about on the other side of the room. So if you roll a 1 on a 20, it'll actually go into that room. Otherwise, it'll just clang against the wall and fall.
9.
Okay, well, it clangs against the wall and falls, and it's on the opposite side of you and the 4 baboons. And meanwhile, Corso, what are you doing?
I might as well use some of this magic I have. I'm going to cast Magic Missile.
All right, you can cast that against one target only, so you probably be sure to fry it when you hit it. A fireball will hit multiple ones, but go for it. All you gotta do is roll the damage.
Yeah,
which is 10d6.
Going to be 10d6.
Well, you know, if you roll a 1, you might not kill it, but you certainly have a very good chance. So go for it.
Okay. And last time I kind of lost track, so I'm going to do this. Might take a minute.
No, it won't. You're fast at math. Watch this.
40.
Wow, that was so fast. I can't believe you did that so fast. And, you explode one of them. Just the magic missile force just rips it apart. The 3 that were standing next to it have to make morale rolls when they see their compatriot pop up. And, they break and run. They actually start climbing up the tire swings in this room and trying to get as far away from you as possible. And, they do not immediately counterattack you. The ones on you, Farin, though, they have gloating expressions on their faces as they rush towards you. You're not going to be able to parry them, but you can certainly try to dodge and weave and get past them to where your weapon is as you defend yourself. And you will defend yourself with a -1 bonus against all 4 of them as they come in ready to whack you with their tails. You're not sure what they're going to do as you begin dodging.
Well, I rolled an 8, so with -1, that will be a 7.
And you roll past them, and they are squirting liquid gaxium out of their tails. It is bubbling and boiling hot, but it does not hit you as you roll past them and skitter to a stop and pick up your vorpal sword from the other side of the room. And meanwhile, Marm, the one that the 3 turn around after looking at their clockwork gears of their friend's brain skittered across the floor, and they turn howling and rush towards you. You've actually got a -2 bonus to defend yourself against them as they spray their bubbling hot liquid gaxium in your direction. Do you defend against their...
Yeah, I managed to leap up into the air and dodge their hot spray.
Okay, well, you do not get sprayed by them, and of course the other ones that were fighting Corso are now momentarily afraid of him, and they're climbing up the rope in front of him. And Marm, what do you do?
I'm going to send the boomerang around the room again and hit the 3 remaining.
Okay, here it comes.
That's
all right.
Plus or -2 bonus?
Yes, that is, and they are shaking their tails up as if they're getting ready to squirt another load at you.
Hit them with a 10, and here comes the damage.
All right.
First one's going to take 12 points of damage. Second one's going to take...
They've all taken damage already, and
10
that one
points
dies.
of damage. The last one will take...
That one staggers back and almost dies.
12 points of damage.
That one too. The boomerang goes, and only one of them is alive, and he's staggering. And with a oddly human-like cry, he rushes to the door that's below that observation booth. Begins banging on it and trying to get through it, but he can't get through it. He's trying to get away. And meanwhile, Farin, you've got the sword fresh in hand. Those 4 whip around and look at you. They're angry that you've just gotten past them. They look like they're going to spray you with their liquid tails as soon as they can, but you have time to do something. What do you do?
I'm going to attempt to whack at them with my sword and hopefully not wing it. Well, I don't wing it, but rolled an 18.
Oh no!
So
that's going to miss.
Is it a -2?
It's a -1 for this particular case because there's 4 of them. Yeah.
So that's still going to miss. Yep.
Well, you haven't missed much in this adventure, and you're missing now, though. And again, the gloating expressions on these baboons' faces. Of course, they shouldn't be so happy when they look around at their friends because things are not going amazingly well for them. But Corso, whatever do? You look up, and those monkeys are up on the. No, they're not monkeys. The blue baboons are hanging up on the top of the rope swing, and they're hurling curses at you in their baboon language, and even making some rude gestures in the human rude gesture language at you, Corso.
I'm going to make some rude gestures back at them, and wave my wand.
Uh-oh, here it comes. And let's see if it goes off. Roll a d4.
4.
Okay, and percentiles.
85.
85. Well, leaves grow from these baboons all over their bodies. They scream in surprise. Leaves just sprout from their bodies. They scream. They begin to try to pick off, and they let go of the rope, and they fall to the ground and die. Because they're going to take at least 10 points of damage from that. And probably more. I'm not going to roll. But now there's just the 4 that are left, and they've all, seeing all this that's happened now, they think better of trying to fight Farin, and they are again screaming and banging on the door, trying to get out of here. But the door won't open. And then there's a sound, a voice comes out. I'm very impressed, says the voice.
Thank you. It is a little cold in here, but I still think I got some good length going on.
Well, just excuse me for a moment, will you? I have to fix a mistake I made. And there's a bit of a pause, and then all of a sudden there's sparks shoot out of the clockwork brains of the baboons that are alive, and they're trying to get out. And they shake and spasm, and their bodies kick about, and they fall to the ground and die. And then the door opens by itself. Ooh. Why don't you come on in, says the voice. And there's just a little capsule in there. It's a lift capsule. It's like a little elevator room. Do you want to go in?
Well, I suppose we should humor him. I assume this must be the great Lord Bane.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what he looks like in person, so.
All right. Well, you guys get into that little automated lift. There's only one button. There's no hatch in the ceiling or the floor. There's just this little, drain-like opening in the floor, maybe for baboon pee, who knows. But the door closes, and...
Marm pee?
Yeah, does anyone want to press the button?
Marm will.
Yeah,
sure.
okay, well, it's done. And yeah, the lift capsule goes up. It seems like it takes a while. There's actually this really cheesy music playing. We look at each other awkwardly.
Usually prefer to take the stairs. You could say I was raised differently.
No. Well, the ride seems like it takes forever and even longer with the terrible jokes. But suddenly you all begin to feel kind of lightheaded. You realize there must be some invisible gas coming in from that hole in the floor. Everybody make Constitution rolls at a +4 penalty.
No.
Nope.
Okay. All right.
I got it.
Well, Corso has inhaled so much weird shit in his life that maybe he's built up an immunity. But Farin and Marm, you feel a little bit spaced out, a little woozy. And the only real effect is that all of your rolls that you make are going to be at a disadvantage for about the next hour or so. And if they would normally be at an advantage, then they would just be normal rolls. But just then, though, the door opens into you can see into a cylinder-shaped room, and the ceiling of this room is just awash with swirling blue light. There's a huge machine in here. It's shaped like a dodecahedron. And standing in front of it with his hand on a lever, you recognize him from the posters. It's Lord Bane. He's handsome, like a fashion model. Yeah.
God damn it.
But his eyes
more
are
handsome than Corso.
He's
Corso
so much handsomer than Corso. But his eyes are very cruel. And he's wearing like a black turtleneck shirt and black pants and what in our world we would call a blazer. It's black also, of course. Excuse me for a moment, he says, while I monologue. I wouldn't bother attacking me. He gestures with his eyes at his hand on the lever. If I let go of this, we're all on a one-way trip out of here. Not so bad for me, because I'd be going home, but very bad for you. Yeah, I know who you are, Queen Farin, and Nicholas Corso, and Marm Goodwill, and I knew this day would come, because in one version you joined me, and you enjoy what little time your world has left, but in another version you try to defeat me, and you're flung into another reality, never to return. You see, I'm not of this earth. I come from another place. It would break your little minds to know this, so I won't tell you, but why not? Let's break your little minds. Your world is nothing more. It is encased in a microscopic bubble, floating in a much vaster world, my world. And I have almost everything I want in that world, but I want to give my world what it needs so they'll worship me the way they should. I'll give them free, unlimited power. Power that I control, of course. And I'm getting it by sucking your world away. Every granule of matter from this pocket universe that you live in creates energy equal to 12 atomic bombs in my world. Never mind how the math would break you. And your world will be left as, it'll be left as nothing. It'll be like Gonen's world never existed at all. So, you can join me and leave here peacefully, and maybe, just maybe, I'll take you with me and set you up nicely when I go back home. I could use allies like you. I have powerful enemies in my world, and enforcers, if you will. And together we could conquer both worlds. So, which version of the future is it going to be, Farin, Corso, Marm? Because I could go either way. I always land on my feet, one way or the other.
Are you wearing a girdle? All right. Or do you just work out a lot, do a lot of ab work?
Do a lot of Pilates, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I got a guy. He's good. Yeah.
Okay, well, give me his number later. No. Well, I kind of like this world. What about you, Farin?
Yes, I'm a rather big fan of it, and I'm not rather enjoying seeing it be sucked away into this vortex.
Yeah. Do you agree, Marm?
Well, you see, I'm from this world, but I'm from like the future, so I'm afraid if you eat this world now, there won't be a future, and then I won't exist, and I don't kind of like that at all, so I kind of want this world to keep existing, so I'll keep existing, or start existing after I keep existing, or whatever that works out to be, but I don't want it to go away.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement.
Well, the only question is, what are you going to do about it?
Well, Corso, I think you know what to do.
Yeah, you've been sucking this world. Why don't you suck on this? And I'm going to wave my wand.
Okay, I hope you don't roll a 1.
Actually, that would be pretty funny.
That would.
It would be funny. And I'm not going to, if I roll 1, I'll just tell you. I fucking rolled a 1. Oh, God.
God,
oh, well. That's true. Bane just shakes his head, and
I swear
it almost looks like he pities you.
Works. It usually works.
All right.
This is the first time it's ever happened like this.
All right. You guys got about 1 second to do something if you want to do something. Anybody want to do a thing?
Yeah, Marm's going to try to hook shot the lever so if he releases it, it doesn't move.
Yeah, go for it. You can certainly hit the lever.
I rolled a 6.
Well, you hit the lever all right, and however, it startles him and he lets go of it. And yeah, unfortunately, there's no way to stop the lever from moving once he lets go of it. And all of a sudden, that dodecahedron-shaped mechanical brain, it must be what it is, it begins to glow. And the swirling blue light in the ceiling swirls more, and it brightens, and there's this terrible sucking motion, and a vortex-like wind fills the room. And Bane himself just holds his arms out in his Jesus Christ pose and begins floating up into the air. And he says, "You chose poorly. I'll see you on the other side." And everyone, you're obliged to grab on to something, anything. Make a strength test to stay here. Oh, what are you going to do?
And that's with a disadvantage because I failed earlier, right?
Yeah, it's with a terrible disadvantage. And there's bits of machinery and stuff you could try to grab onto, but Bane just rises up into the light and disappears from existence. And how does everybody do?
I rolled right on my strength.
Well, I rolled a 9.
Oh no, Marm is sucked up and out. And what about you, Corso?
I actually made it.
Well, Corso, you and Farin are both grabbing onto a piece of machinery that's up against the wall. It's filled with gaxium. You can see it bubbling in there. But then suddenly, even though you're holding onto that thing itself rips out of the wall. There's terrible sparks. And you guys have just enough time to glance at each other as you rise up into the light. And then,
God damn you, Marm!
And all of you are pulled up into the ceiling. You're spinning wildly, and you have this sensation as if you're being turned inside out and being flung a great distance. And then suddenly you find yourselves in the middle of a crowded street, and there's impossibly bright lights everywhere. And a building is on fire behind you, and there are huge signs that glow, and you can read some of them. One is red and white and says Coca-Cola. Another shows a fat guy in a white suit holding a really fat hot dog, and it says Chubby Chodes, good. And there's another with a happy couple in front of a strange house, and the sign says, we got our mortgage at Wisconsin United Financial. And people are all screaming and pointing at you, and lots of them are running away. And suddenly, these swift vehicles with flashing lights, terrible sirens roar up at you, and men in blue uniforms get out and they aim weapons at you. And they say, Cape City Police, freeze, supervillains, you're under arrest. And that's where we're going to end this episode. And we will continue this adventure on our 200th episode.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll see you then.
I would like to narrate that kind of the final scene is Farin kind of side-eyeing over to Corso and down and up and saying, "So what do you reckon a chubby chode is?"
I would say, I don't know, but it's cold in Wisconsin.
Okay, there we go. I think that's good. Yeah. So that was an extra long episode, as our regulars will know, and I think we can take this moment to congratulate ourselves on 100 episodes.
Yeah, it's been fun, and I can't believe we actually already had our 100th episode.
Yeah, it's insane.
I know, and things have changed since we started. We used to do these in person, but then the world changed, and that didn't beat us. And all this time, we've been hoping to get Wimp on, and after 100 episodes, we finally got Wimp on. So, Jason, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I had a lot of fun, and look forward to doing this again sometime.
Oh, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you'll be back.
We'll see you in 100 episodes.
Yeah. You can come back in 100 episodes. That's right. Now, I have a feeling we'll see him back before then, and I guess we'll see all of you next time with a brand new adventure
in the 101st episode.
All right.